Podcast. I'm your host, E-Rock. If you like this podcast, do me a favor real quick and go to whatever podcast app you listen to this on and give us a rating. It really helps get found in the searches and getting in suggested feeds. I want to give a shout out to the sponsors of this episode, Hefe's Airsoft Solutions, Skirmish, and TNT Airsoft. Make sure you guys go check out their content, products, and services. I'll have the links to all of those in the description. Thanks for being here. Let's get into the podcast. It's all right. It's not bad. I just came in from working in the yard, so
Nice.
and I'm going back out there later. So yeah,
There you go.
hell yeah, man. Welcome, bro.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, dude. Let me pop this out. There it is. Yeah, man. I got some coffee. So I'm drinking. Most of the time. I drink black coffee.
Yeah.
I
same here.
love black coffee. Yeah. My wife hates
You ever
it.
add anything to it?
Yeah, I mean, I'll use creamer here and there. My wife uses creamer, like all these different flavored ones. She gets these non-sugar, whatever they are, and I've used butter, like just straight up all natural butter.
Just throw butter in there.
Yeah.
That's the
So
thing.
for the good fats,
Yeah.
it actually it takes away some of the acidity of the black coffee. But,
Really?
it gives you an energy boost on top of it. Something about the fats in there. So like how so real butter, almonds, avocados, they have like
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
nutritious kind of fats or whatever that are good for you. I never thought that it would be when I first started hearing about that. I didn't think it would be like, oh yeah, it'll give you energy. And then I tried it and I was like, holy shit, it works.
Really? I'm about to try that now.
Yeah.
Got me thinking. I've never thought, I might add some butter to my coffee.
Well, it's a good, it kind of, like I said, if you're, so I drink strong coffee.
Yeah.
I like that stronger taste, but, it doesn't cool your coffee off too much, like creamer that you keep in the fridge. I've used, heavy whipping cream as well.
Yeah.
And, it just cools your coffee off so much, or cools it down too much. I like hot black coffee.
Yeah. Straight out the pot. That's the way you're
Yeah.
supposed to have it.
Uh-huh. I think this year I want to get a bean crusher or whatever you call it.
Grinder.
Yeah, the grinder, dude.
I grind my own beans and everything. I'm one of those
Nice.
guys. But I will
Yes.
tell you this, as someone who enjoys black coffee, it changes the game, bro. Changes it.
I'm sure.
Yeah, there's something about it. Like I grew up with my dad. We drank Folgers, just a plain classic
Yep.
Folgers coffee,
Same.
and I love it. I still love it.
Yeah.
I got married about a year and 9, 10 months ago, something like
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
So she drank Folgers, but it's the Colombian brew. So it's a little bit more on the darker side. So I've
Mhm.
started to really like those darker notes now. And as
Yeah.
soon as I got married, I was just like, hey, I'm gonna try this. Found a guy on YouTube called Eric Hoffman. He's a British guy. Literally, like I could listen to him talk about coffee and go to sleep. His voice is just that angelic, bro.
Oh shit.
So
Okay.
I listen to him. He's talking about if you grind it this size and you pour it with this technique, you're gonna get these hints of flavors. I'm like, you're lying. There's no
Really?
way. Yeah, so I just had to try it myself. So I went
Yeah.
for my birthday. I got a grinder. I got name brand, very well sought after whole beans that were
Yeah.
recently taken. They weren't old, so they were within their brew date. And then I got a pour over kit, and I just started making it. And it's crazy how even just the amount of, if you take an extra 30 seconds just to pour it over, how different it changes the flavor.
What?
Yeah, it's insane. It's an art. That's why they have all those crazy like coffee competitions. I used to
Yeah.
laugh at that. I'm like, bro, it's coffee. Shut up.
Right.
Y'all are there's no way. It's the real deal.
Oh, that's wild. Okay.
Yeah. So be careful. I warn you, it's a rabbit hole.
So I might turn into a coffee snob.
Is next time we get on the pod, we're going to be asking, oh, cool, so what blend are you using today? So it's not going to be
No, I'm
go
gonna
grab
show
some from
that
the
shit
pot.
off, bro. I'm gonna like hold it up and be like, look at what I got.
Bro, it's awesome. Like I've literally got a French press in my office at the church that I work at, and literally people come in, they're like, "This is the most bougie looking thing ever." I'm like, "Yeah, and it tastes better than your coffee." So,
That's crazy. So the French press is like you grind it, then you put it in that thing, right? And then you
yep.
squeeze it down, you squish it.
No,
Oh,
originally, yes, you are supposed to squeeze it down, but
okay.
according to most baristas, you don't push it at all. You
Oh,
only use it as a
just
strainer, based off of
oh,
the science that they've done over the years, trying to come up
yeah.
with how it's supposed to work and stuff.
So that's what the French press is, right?
Yeah,
That
that
thing
is the
I've seen
French
that
press,
like
though.
compresses it. Okay.
Yeah, I still press it just because there's something about it. It just feels good just to push, like put all that down. You can see the sediment, how it'll start to be really dark where the beans are, and then it just slowly clears as you push it down. It's just like, it's amazing.
That's wild.
Yeah,
Okay. I never got that into coffee. I love coffee, but it's
yeah,
always been the basic, I really, the majority of what I guess the most coffee I drank, just coming out of high school was in the military.
oh
It's,
yeah,
that's like, we call it lifer juice. Okay. So
exactly.
yeah, so it's,
Yeah,
we drink, and you don't have a lot of, you can't be picky. Okay. Sometimes you're in a
yeah,
field and you get the little coffee pack out of your MRE, and nobody likes the creamer stuff that's, whatever,
mhm.
these are, it's a long time ago. I don't know what they have in MREs now, but it was, the coffee grinds. Sometimes we would just pop them in our mouth and just
Oh yeah,
drink, from our canteen, and, just kind of like let it swirl around in your mouth for a little bit and then just swallow the
yep.
chunks. But, just to get the caffeine, and dude,
That's what
it's
you got
so,
to do.
I'm telling you, man, there's something really, really pleasant about fresh coffee smell. When you open
Hmm.
up, my dad, I remember, how your smell is connected to your memories, or your memories
Yeah.
connected to your smell, like really, really closely. I remember growing up, my dad would open the Folgers coffee
Yep.
can
Every
back when
time I
they had the
smell it, I think of
metal
my dad.
cans, and I'd be like, "Oh, dude,
Yes. And as a kid, you were like, how in the world can you drink that? It doesn't smell anything or doesn't taste anything like it smells. My dad let me
no,
try it as a kid. So when I first started drinking coffee, I put like 8 pounds of sugar and cream and all that stuff.
yeah, yeah,
And the only reason I started drinking black coffee is because there was this girl that I really liked, and she drank black coffee. And she made fun of guys that drank coffee with creamer in it. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna cut it out and I'm gonna press her.
oh
And
shit,
yeah, and now like she has nothing to do with my life anymore. But praise
right,
God for the black coffee, because now I don't spend half as much money on it. Like when I go somewhere, I
right."
want black coffee. It's what I want. It's all I
What
crave.
so where did you grow up, in like a kind of out in the woods kind of area, like rural?
So my mom's city girl, my dad's sort of in between. So
Yeah,
like a suburban, not completely in the city, but not completely in the like country.
yeah.
So I'm from Tennessee, so
Okay.
it's a little bit country everywhere you go.
Right,
But
right.
I'm where I live. I live about 45 minutes west of Nashville, so
Gotcha.
I'm not too far at all. Um, and so I grew up in sort of a small town called Dixon that's actually really starting to blow up right now. But we've been used to the suburban area, and when I got married, I actually moved outside of the city limits, and I live more in the country now. And I love it. It's so much better out here. It's so much more quiet. I can go on my
Yeah.
back porch and just shoot guns whenever I want to. It's oh,
Thank
I
God.
love it.
That is
Yeah,
so liberating, man. When you have a little bit of space
yeah.
between your neighbors or whatever. But yeah, I asked because I was trying to figure out what kind of area, or like a girl that you would grow up around that would have,
She was backwoods,
uh-huh.
like
Yeah, man.
ski, ran around. Like I run on gravel too because that's the same girl I wanted to impress, and she had like callus like no other. She just
Yeah.
run on gravel, and I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
So for like a whole week, I ran
She
on
was a
gravel.
tough girl, man. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
she's awesome, bro. Like
That's
to
cool.
this day, I think she's still a pretty cool chick. So
Yeah. That's good.
yeah.
So now, So you're in Tennessee. So
Mhm.
I found out about you from Kimbo.
Yes, Akimbo
Oh
Constantine. I
yeah.
love that guy,
Shout
bro.
out Constantine
Yes, sir.
again. This dude.
Again, dude,
Yeah,
he's
he's
infectious.
introduced me
Like,
to a bunch of people. Yeah, he's a good dude.
yeah, he's amazing, bro. I love Constantine. He's
Nice.
if I could clone him and just like have him like show up to all my airsoft events, I would. He's already there, but like if I could have
Yeah,
him on my team, I know he's already on HSA and helps out Praetorian every now and then. But I'm like,
right.
bro, I love him.
So you're in the same area where all those guys are. So HSA with guys I've had on here before, like Houdini,
Yeah. So they're in
a bunch.
Hendersonville, so right
Yeah,
across the way from me.
and guys on Praetorians as well, like Pumbaa and
Oh
those
yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Okay.
Me and Pumbaa actually, when I first started my airsoft venture, like actually getting my name out there, um, he was sort of someone that I looked up to as a role model in the YouTube community, because I like the way they did his videos. They're very clean. Um, I'm a Christian, so I really like clean material. I
Yeah.
think you can be clean and have a baller video either way.
Oh
So he was
yeah.
someone I really looked up to, and I was like, okay, cool. So we'd always be like commenting on each other's stuff, and so I love those guys. And then Houdini, just out of nowhere, I just said, hey, I have a Kappa problem. For literally like a week straight, he would message me stuff like, hey, is it working? Try this,
Yeah.
try this. Don't even know the guy, so he's like, I've talked to him a couple times, but I feel like he's my best friend now. So
Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, all those guys. I started playing Division with all of them.
oh yeah,
So
I've heard
Division 2.
from
Yeah.
Akimbo, and I know you're talking to who was it? I think you mentioned it with Chris from FRA as well when
Mm-hmm.
you're talking about that,
Yep.
bro. I bought it, and my PC finally bit the dust. So I literally bought it, and 3 days later, my PC bit the dust, so I couldn't play it anymore.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just got a taste of it, bro, and it's just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
no. So
Yeah, right.
it's okay.
Um, yeah, in fact, I had talked to these guys way before that I knew that they played. And
Mhm.
then when we were doing a group one of these group ones that I did months ago, me and a couple other guys, like we were waiting for somebody to join, like a couple other guys to join. I think it was just me and Pumbaa in here
Yeah.
at first, and we were waiting for everybody else to come in. And we're just BSing until people showed up and started talking about video game. I asked him what he was playing right now. Like what
Yeah.
you playing games? Any games right now? He's like, yeah, Division 2. I was like, what? Dude, that's what I've been playing forever. Like I love that game. And he's like, no way. So I sent him my gamer tag or whatever, and now I play with Pumbaa. There's like 4 or 5 Praetorians, and then
Oh
three
yeah.
or four HSA guys that I play with on here. So we have most of the time we get together, we'll have enough to run a full squad of countdown. So for the countdown part mode or whatever, you have to have 8,
Yeah.
um, or you should have 8. You don't have to, but you should have 8. So
It's
we'll
ideal.
run. Yeah, it's fun, man. It's a good time. Yeah, they're good.
Bro, that's awesome. It's crazy how you can just like mention the game to somebody and you don't even know the person, but as soon as you're like, dude, I play that too, instant best friends, just like
Right.
that. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's awesome.
there's a lot of that in life that create
Yeah,
this bond. There's a lot of things like that, I guess, in life that create this bond between people instead of a division, right?
yeah,
The division creates a
yeah,
bond, and
exactly.
and so video games is one for sure. Airsoft is one,
Yeah,
mostly for sure.
yeah, it's a little edgy
It can be,
sometimes. Well, I think it comes down to mentality, bro. Because I
yeah,
mean, like if you can see, this is my new team I just dropped, the Kotsky Speedsoft group. I'm a speedsofter, and I know that that's really like taboo in some areas,
okay,
but I've had such a bad experience on both sides of the field, both with milsim and speedsoft. And at the end of the day, we're a bunch of grown men playing with plastic BB guns.
right,
So like, let's just have a good time and enjoy it. And once people start making it all about like being too serious or too competitive or too real, then
yeah,
that's where I start losing respect. Not losing respect. I try to respect everybody and honor everybody, but that's where you really start losing me as a player. and I have to really watch myself around you, because it's that even with like the YouTube cheater videos and stuff like that, it's just toxic, and toxic breeds more toxicity.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that we try to I try to stay away from personally. But like you said, like airsoft brings people together. But there's a little bit of, for lack of a better term, the division between the two
Yeah.
groups.
And it's not
So
it's not airsoft. I mean, like you said, it's it's the person, it's
yeah,
so the thing, most of the time, things that divide us as humans is pride and ego,
yeah,
right? We let that
yeah,
get in the way. We start feeling like, oh, I earned a certain whatever
yeah,
type of treatment, and I'm not getting it from somebody. So now it creates that disdain, and now just that little wedge, and then we start. Once that happens, they say, I heard this saying a long time ago, familiarity breeds contentment. And the more you
yep,
start to get to know somebody, the more you notice their flaws as opposed to their good parts. And
exactly.
so, like when you first meet somebody, typically, if you connect like that, right? If you have
Hmm.
some chemistry where it's good, you're like, oh man, this person's so good that, it's all good. All you see is good stuff. And then as you get to know them more, it starts turning like,
Exactly.
and part of that is our ego. Part of that is, the pride thing. Like, um, people do it. It's very common where people compare themselves and get jealous and get spiteful and whatever. So sometimes, so it's not really that, the sport or the hobby of airsoft. I mean, obviously it's people just like
Hmm.
anything else, but that
Yeah, exactly.
immaturity, the immaturity level, it's that's where people need to get, I guess, like, if they want to not be stuck in that, negative, you know, view of like, oh, this is so bad, this is so toxic, this is so.
Yeah.
You just need to break out of that and start going back to noticing the good things. And a really good practice, and this is a really common thing in business, and you hear it from you'll hear it, like you said, you're a Christian, you'll hear it at from a
Oh
pastor,
yeah.
being grateful. Like, it's very, very difficult to be angry with somebody when you're really thankful. Okay, so you
Yeah.
start being thankful for things in your life, and it really changes your perspective, your whole outlook on the whole day and the people you're around.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I completely agree with everything there. And even if it comes down to not even a religious standpoint, because I'm a pastor, so
Oh, okay.
some people, that's instantly they're like, oh, whoa, you're a pastor, okay. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
pastors are people too, bro. Like,
Right.
nobody's perfect. You got to recognize that. And
Mm-hmm.
I constantly, especially at Nashville Airsoft with the tournaments and everything that we're doing. Thank you so much. Had to get a refill,
Oh, yeah.
but I'm constantly having to watch my mindset there, because there's people that, like, I know every time I shoot them that I'm gonna have to put a couple extra rounds into them, because they don't
Mm-hmm.
believe the same way that I believe. Because I believe, as a Christian, if I'm shrugging shots, then that's
Yeah.
straight up sin, because I know
That's
what
good.
I'm doing.
It's
So
dishonorable. Right.
it's super dishonorable, and the whole
Uh-huh.
sport is literally based on honor. It's an
Right.
honor sport. So when you start doing that, then you're hurting the sport, you're hurting the community. And I'm seeing that happen in Nashville Airsoft right now. It's just starting to hurt
Oh,
the
okay.
community. Uh, Less and less people wanting to play. We're seeing more people swap over to paintball.
Mm.
And I would if I could. But the reason I'm in Airsoft is because it's poor man's paintball. That's why I'm here. I can't
It
afford a
really
box
is.
of
Yeah,
paint, right?
paintball is so
So
expensive, bro.
yeah, and that's another thing
Compared
is
to.
exactly, like, if it was just a marker and the paint wasn't as bad, then I'd hop over in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not spending $100 on 2,000 rounds. I go through 2,000 rounds and maybe a couple rounds in speedsoft. So that's I
Well, let me
can't do
ask you
that.
this: if you're thinking that way, and I've talked to a lot of different people on here, and I've mentioned this too, where my
Yeah.
background and playing paintball, my
Hmm.
experience playing years of paintball, uh, I don't remember ever having this huge issue of people not calling their hits. And I remember I was talking
Yeah.
with Crisis, Drop Dead Drizzle is her Instagram, one of her Instagrams, or that Tac City Girl, and she's out in Cali, and she plays Speedsoft. And when I said that to her, she's like, "Oh wow," she's never played paintball, and we were talking about it. And she goes, "Yeah, I want to try
Really.
it out." And I said, well, I'll tell you one thing. You don't have this issue with not calling your hits. And she goes, what? Really? I go, yeah. And she goes, why? Do you think that's because everyone's more honest or something? And I was like, no. It's literally
Oh,
like it splats
you
so
can see it.
big and bright. Like everyone,
Yeah.
you're pretty much held accountable because the more people can see it. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
you know how that, well, you're a pastor, you know that saying about something about sin in the dark, like hiding in the dark or whatever.
Yeah.
If you think you can get away with it, um, a lot of people will
They
try.
will. Yeah.
Like
Well,
we
I
need
mean,
to be
we
held
see it.
accountable.
That's what's happening at Nashville right now. They're like, I love the field. That's my home field. I've been playing there for years. So
Right.
I wish them nothing but the best. Um, but one of the things that we're seeing is there's a lot of new refs that a lot of them don't play airsoft. A lot of them are just there for a paycheck. And they don't know what's going on. So when we're playing tournaments and they're reffing tournaments, they have
Yeah.
no idea what they're looking for. Half of them
Right.
don't even know the rules. So what a lot of people do, like you just said, the people that are like, hey, I can get away with it, they're going to
Hmm.
shrug some hits because they know they can get away with it. I'm not going to lie,
Yeah.
there's been a couple times where I was sitting there and it's just like, Holy Spirit, you're going to really have to help me because I don't want to call my hits right now. So it's like, it's one of those things, bro, where it's just like,
Blasphemer.
yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Well, I posted a clip not too long ago and I literally had to cut the audio out because I was calling this guy out while I'm shooting him. I'm like,
Oh
come
yeah.
on, so and so. I'm not going to say his name. Come on,
Yeah.
so and so. And then a literally like rush up snake, get him, get a couple of guys, and I got a really nice sweep off that play. But it's just like it's
It's
so bad,
frustrating.
so
Well,
frustrating, and it's like one of those things.
it is, and that's the. I think that this translates to pretty much most things in life that we experience. One of the things that really frustrates people is when majority of people, majority of humans are good. Like they're good-hearted. They want to do good.
Yeah,
They don't have to be forced to, clock in on time, to
yeah,
don't ride the
exactly.
clock, to right. The majority of
Yeah,
people, they want to feel that, hey, I did a good job today kind of thing.
yeah,
Even if no one saw me do it, right? So
exactly.
they want to be honest. That's the majority of people, but you have, um, it's just, yeah. Unfortunately, you have those people that
Yeah,
don't follow that. So it's very easy to kind of, especially in airsoft, from what I'm hearing, all these people I've talked with, these stories that they tell about, not calling their hits. It just seems like uh, they're not held accountable.
nah.
And
I
if
mean,
they're
what's
not,
the biggest
then
thing that they're gonna do is slap them on the wrist and say, "Hey, start calling your hits."
yeah,
And I don't know if you're aware, but I started um, a variant, a competitive airsoft variant called X1 Competitive,
yeah,
and I've been running them up at Shot Zone because Nashville. I've tried reaching out to them; they're super busy, and I haven't heard anything back from them. So I was just like, well, I'm just going to go to Shot Zone because that's one thing that I love about Shot Zone is they everything that they do with the tournaments is with excellence. And I feel like every time I go
right.
up there, I'm not getting gypped. Like I know that the
Mm,
refs are doing their job. I know that like the money I'm paying them that's going to the refs, I feel like they
hmm.
deserve because they're actually doing what they're supposed to do. And
Yeah.
that's why we're running our tournaments up there. We provide 1v1 tournaments, a couple of fun things here and there. We just got done this past weekend with Patch Grab, which is practically just like you wager patches against each other. It's just like, hey, I'll fight you for one patch. And they're like, yeah, I'll bet, sweet. So then you put patches down. Whoever wins gets the whole pot.
Oh, that's
Um,
cool, man.
Dude, it's
It's
so
like
fun.
racing for pink slips. Okay,
Yeah, yeah, it's like that.
that's
So
cool.
at the end of the day, like there was a live leaderboard. You can check it out on a website all the time. Just go click it and you see who's got the most tokens right now. We're gonna do another one later this year, and just like everybody's gonna show up with all their tokens, and we're just gonna go.
Where's the leaderboard?
So it's on our website, x1competitive.com.
Oh, that's
Uh,
your guys' team.
no, so this is actually just it's like I would say sort of like an organization. It's a bunch of people that want to play competitive, but it's
Yeah.
based off of 1v1s. There's a
Oh,
lot of
okay.
teams out there, lots of people. Like the thing that Akembo has been keep on saying he's been going up to Shot Zone for the 1v1. That's us.
Oh,
We're
okay, okay.
hosting it. Ethan's letting us use his field for it.
Right.
So what we're trying to do is sort of like in a competitive, ranked system in video games,
Yeah.
right? And
Right.
I don't know about Division, but I know in Call of Duty you've got bronze, silver, gold,
Yeah.
platinum, and those are your rankings. We're doing the same thing with 1v1s. So we're keeping
Gotcha.
up with your stats, we're keeping up with how many kills you've got, and we've got a system that we use that you can
Yeah.
check out all the time. You can go see who's at the top of the leaderboard for this year. At the end of the year, we're going to wipe it clean. Everybody's going to start fresh in January of next year.
Gotcha.
Um, so you can go through and you can see who's actually the best player when it comes down to 1v1s. Because all these tournaments, I literally just got done talking with Ethan from Shot Zone, the owner there, probably about a couple days ago. We were talking about how sort of the market for speedsoft is sort of saturated with so many different variants and so many different game modes.
Yeah.
And the reason I started X1 wasn't really to take away from how oversaturated the market is, but sort of provide something for the people that don't have a team or don't want to play with a team.
Mm. Yeah.
Because I know that I was like that for a really long time, sort of like a lone ranger. I didn't want to join a team. I couldn't commit to a team either because of work.
Right.
And so having something like that I know I can play in once a month, there's a tournament where I can just go be me and do the best I can do. That's something that I enjoyed the concept of. So we just made it happen. It literally fun story. I was actually watching a TV show, some old anime that one of my youth students told me to go watch. I was watching it. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And they've got a ranking system in it. It was 11:30 at night. And I had an idea pop into my head, a competitive 1v1 airsoft variant. Okay, let me go look at some rules. Let me go look at some stuff. At 3 a.m. that morning, I had the website, had the ranking system, had all the different rules written up, and literally just messaged a couple of people over the course of a week. We hashed out the game mode. I've got a friend that let us build a personal field on his property. So we've got like this rinky dink, ski jerry rig looking speed saw field in the middle of these woods. We played it, worked out all the kinks, and about like 2 months later, I talked to Ethan. He's like, "Yeah, come run it here. Let's do it." So that's what we did, and
Oh,
it's
that's
been
cool.
so fun. Yeah,
Oh,
and it's
that's
for
fun.
the
Okay.
players too. So like,
Yeah,
if
this
anybody
is
has any ideas, just shoot
yeah,
them our
man. I
way.
now I remember. Okay, now I remember Constantine talking about the 1v1s and how you know I think that's how it came up. We're talking
Mm,
about you and okay, so that's cool, man. Yeah, the 1v1. So speaking of ideas and pink slips, racing for pink slips,
yeah,
the ultimate tournament, right,
yeah.
would be the best two guys fight for pink slips for their guns. So whoever
I've
loses
thought about
takes
it.
it.
Oh, I've thought about it. But
And
here's the
then,
thing:
bro,
one
you're
word, cheating.
yeah,
As
World
soon
War
as you
Three's gonna
implement
start, bro.
anything, it starts cheating. Like I don't even announce what rewards we have. This last tournament we did, it was a more for fun thing. The patch grab, there's not really, it didn't affect your rank on our board. It was just a for fun thing.
Okay.
But I didn't announce to anybody. But we had prizes. I announced to the leaderboard leaders, the first, second, third, afterwards. Hey, by the way, you won some stuff. I'll talk to you about it later. Because as soon as you start putting in
Yeah.
cash prize, as soon as you put in, hey, you're going to
Hmm.
win a gun, as soon as you put in, hey, you're going to get some cool merch, people start cheating like crazy because they want
Yeah.
something. But as soon as you recognize that, hey, this is just about winning, that's it. There's no prize at the end. And for some reason, people are more honest.
Yeah.
So that's the way we run things. If we're going to have a prize, we're going to have a prize. If we're not going to have a prize, we're not going to have a prize. You're not going to know until the end of the tournament anyway. So,
That's probably pretty. That's probably smart, man.
yeah.
I know that I'm sure there's people out there way more experienced and especially with speedsoft tournament type of stuff
Hmm.
that are trying to think of or have tried to think of all these different ideas over the years as to how we can get over this issue of
Yeah.
accountability where you literally just have to go, oh, okay, yeah, I got hit.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm calling myself out. Because when the game's on the line, and like you said, there's prizes to be won. People are like, wait, what? No, I didn't get it, but I wonder if there's a if we could change the outfit that people wear. If they're
Yeah.
not allowed to wear like baggy clothes, like shirts, the jerseys that, paintballers wear.
Well, we've got
Um,
that in our rule set, actually.
really?
Part of my regulations is if you show up and we deem that your clothing is excessive, because there are some new people. We at our first tournament, we had a couple people show up that had never played airsoft in their life before.
Oh,
And I
wow.
was like, oh goodness, you came to a competitive 1v1 tournament with some of these like big dogs that is
Yeah.
like I know are gonna destroy my guy. But they were showing up in like two sweatshirts, like some like thick pants.
Oh, wow.
But in our rules, we have a rule in our rules and regulations that says if the staff or the event coordinator, because we're not always going to be running it, feels that your clothing is excessive to the point where you might not feel your hits, then they have every right to tell you, hey, you've got to lose a layer, and if you don't, then you're just going to be disqualified for that match.
Mm,
Because I've seen that a lot. There's a couple of people that I refuse to play with anymore because they're great people, really nice
yeah.
people, but I don't want them playing for my team even as a fill-in because I know for a fact they shrug so many hits and it's because they wear so much. And you tell them, hey, lose a layer. They're like, oh no, I'm okay, bro. I'm like, no, lose a layer.
I'm not
I
asking.
didn't ask. I said lose a layer. And even then, sometimes they
I
just
mean,
like
can you
get
guys
into it.
make it? Can somebody make it to where, like, make a rule where you have a strict guideline of, hey, it's tight pants and a tight t-shirt. Like, no,
Yeah,
no loose clothing. It has to be tight, and your arms have to be exposed. And because now, look, if you're
yeah,
shooting, 350 FPS or whatever,
yeah.
or whatever the range is, 350 to 400, bro, you're gonna
You're gonna feel that.
flinch. You're gonna
Yeah,
flinch like big time. You're not just gonna go. You're not gonna be able to shrug it off as easily. And
exactly.
so it makes that kind of visual marker for everybody else to see, kind of like in paintball,
Yeah,
like, oh,
yeah.
your
And
arms out or whatever, and it's like,
that's the hardest argument right there too, because sometimes you flinch because you with the competitive scene,
yeah,
everyone's required to run tracers. You can see the BB coming, and you see it coming last second, you flinch.
yeah,
I mean, I've had it happen to me multiple times where a ref would come to me and be like, "Hey, got hit." I'm like, "Bro, I totally dodged that, but if you're calling me out,
yeah,
I'm out." Uh, that's the hardest part, man. And that's another thing at X1 that we're trying to do. We're requiring a lot of our players to, if they're going to come to these events, you're going to ref some games. You're going to look and see how hard it is to be a ref because they're
mm,
really quick to judge and be like, "Oh, that ref didn't see it." I'm like, "You're seeing a point or a 6.0
mm-hmm,
millimeter BB flying at the speed of sound, or yeah, it's quick
yeah,
and it's barely illuminated by the time it gets to you." And speedsoft, you got people laying down on the trigger. There's a billion BBs going everywhere. How are we supposed to know sometimes? It's
exactly,
people don't understand how hard it is.
yeah,
So with Ethan, he actually runs the SXL, the Speedsoft X Ball League, which
mm-hmm,
it's practically paintball for airsoft. It's amazing. It's the
yeah,
best variant, my favorite variant ever. Like my
really,
guys for my team are by the end of the year, I'm requiring my team they are going to at least one of the shot zone tournaments
gotcha,
because it's that fun and it's ran that well. And one of the things that we constantly saw at these tournaments was every now and then he had his refs that were getting paid to be there, but he had two spots that were always vacant that he required either team captains or other team players that were not playing at the time to come out and
mm-hmm,
ref. And he said part of that was to teach them and to show them, hey, team captains, if you've got people complaining, send them out here to ref, and they'll see how
gotcha,
hard it is to actually call
right,
it. And I think we need more of that in just airsoft community in general, like because a lot of refs get a lot of hate because they don't see stuff,
yeah.
um, and you can't really judge someone if you haven't experienced that. So
Well,
it's tough.
they're starting to get it, like they're starting to have more and more training sessions for refs. Like Keegan from CSL, like he
Yeah,
runs his own, refing clinic or whatever, uh,
yeah.
coaching. Like that is, I think there needs to be there. It'd probably be helpful to have more of those, like you're talking
Mhm.
about. Hmm.
Yeah, and it's so much more different than running like refing a public game. when it's a competitive
Okay.
variant, people are putting lots of money on the line just to be there at that event. What they don't think of too is like you're paying for a hotel, you're
Yeah.
paying for gas. A lot of people, like, I'm
Right.
5 hours away. I'm driving 5 hours the day before, getting to a hotel, paying for that, paying for food, paying for gas. Then I pay for the event. And then for reps not to care because they're just getting a paycheck, that's whenever
Mm.
it's really frustrating. I know Houdini. I've seen a couple of Houdini's times here, and he said the same thing when he was talking about how they were getting ready for NSL last year.
Yeah.
How he likes how they actually run it. The Zebra Gang. I think we need more people that are designated and desire to bring that sport and be more fair. And that's what our X1 guys are doing. Like all my guys that help me run the events and stuff, it's nothing but a bunch of volunteers. 90% of them are on my team. And when they show up, I'm like, hey, I need a ref. I need you to go put your gun down and come ref for me.
Yeah.
And they're always just like, yeah, sure, let's do this. Okay. Because they understand that we've got to represent and be the change before it's going to change at all.
Yeah.
That's one thing that
Gotcha.
I've heard a lot of people like about our events is like, we'll call you out. We'll straight up call you out. And even if you don't feel or don't think that it hit you, you just got to take our word at it. We got to call what we see. So,
Well, that's where I think now, I like the take away their armor,
yeah.
right? It's like the UFC, right? Like UFC,
Mhm.
like, okay, so I'm not saying, you need to be injured, or come away with,
When you see blood.
a bunch. Yeah, like but if you can't wear gloves, your sleeve, it has to be like a tight t-shirt. Your arms are exposed. All you have on is your dye mask or whatever.
Yeah.
Now you can protect your head if you want to put some on the back or whatever, but
Like a
like the
beanie
rest
or
of your
something.
body, needs to be very, very light and tight so that,
Yeah.
because if your shirt's hanging all baggy and stuff on the side and the shirt gets hit, but your body doesn't feel it because it's all draping down,
Yeah.
like a cloak or something, it just seems like, I, you're going to have those instances where somebody could go, oh, he got hit. No, I didn't. I just flinched because I saw the BB. That's going to be, I feel like it would be kind of rare compared to how many people would actually call their hit because they don't want to get shot 3 or 4 times in the knuckle again because they didn't call it the first time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I wonder if maybe that's the direction it needs to go, or
Well,
maybe have a complex laser tag type of system
that'd be
where it
sick.
detects the BB.
Well, it's funny that you say that. I believe, and I could be wrong, so don't quote me on this, but I was reading the NSL rules, and I'm not playing NSL. I can't afford that mess. I can't pay no $600 for a team to go and get destroyed by the Europeans. Um,
Y'all need to
there,
practice, okay?
with what time? Uh,
I know, right?
yeah, running events and coordinating events, running my own team, full time pastor, full time husband. And those are out of order because it's husband first and
Oh, sure,
all
right.
that. So it's busy. It's busy. Like as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to run errands for getting my scuba tank filled for this weekend and all sorts of stuff. Got
Nice.
graduation tonight, but the rules in there and NSL actually say that with your jerseys and stuff because I've been on 3 teams. I know you spoke with Chris a couple weeks ago and from
Oh, yeah.
FRA, the captain of FRA. I was on his team
Mm-hmm.
for a very long time
Oh, okay.
and about a year and a half, gave him everything I could, and the way that I saw the team going, it was more of a not a bad thing, but it just wasn't the same team that it was whenever I joined it.
Mm,
And me and Chris are still homies. We're still good. He still plays for me every now and then, and we're yeah, he helps me with X1. He's always up there supporting. So love the guy to death.
nice.
But I just felt sort of like this new passion to start a new team. And I talked to him about it. I'm gonna start a new team for people that have never played speedsoft before that want to get their toes wet. They just want to dip
Mm-hmm.
their toes and try it out. And if they want to be committed, then they can join.
Yeah.
So um, that's why I started the team, and no hard feelings. He even told me it's okay. But when we were beforehand, when I was on FRA, we had these jerseys that we made from anthrax. It's called the Spartan jersey, and it's got padding in the elbow because it's meant for
Gotcha.
paintball. And like
Okay.
knowing what a paintball feels like, I would like to have a little cushion because
Mm-hmm.
that's another reason people call their heads in paintball because that mug hurts bad, especially when
Uh-huh.
it doesn't break.
Yep.
Or when you play with your Marine friends that are like, let's freeze them the night before. 'Cause I've had that happen before.
Listen,
And
bro. Those are the
yeah,
guys that ruined it for all of us, okay? Because we used to be able to go to fields and like a paint field and actually
yeah,
bring our own paint back when I played. And then they stopped it because of
really,
that. Yeah, you could bring your
yeah,
own paint back when I played. So I played in 94,
unheard of now.
95 until 2000. And we were allowed to, like the last year, 2 years or whatever, we weren't allowed to bring our own paint. We were like, what the heck? And the dudes were like, yeah, because people would show up with frozen paint. And I was like, what? Like, we never even
Yeah,
thought of doing that. And one of the field owners told us, I was like, uh, that's why would somebody like, bro, if that hit you in the mask, like I had a cheap mask. Now it would
could
stop,
shatter
my
it.
goggles would stop the paintball stuff, but all the stuff on the sides, it wasn't even like, it wasn't like a dye mask. It was like this real flimsy, like
Yeah,
neoprene kind of, just, and it
but
would
the J2
protect you.
flexes. It's
Right. It
just there
flexes.
to catch the
Yep.
paint.
Mm-hmm. And these dudes are talking like froze, like, I'm like, that's like shooting a marble.
It's a
Uh, like, why would somebody want to
yeah.
do that? I don't get it. So
Well,
anyway, but yeah, they ruined it for everybody, man. We used to bring our own paint, and I think it would still be a lot cheaper if you could do that, for going
yeah.
to a field. Because now it's like, I
You
don't
got
know.
to buy field paint, and depending on what type of grade paint you want, if they've got the Valken competitive paint, that's all they can get their hands on. It's going to be
Yeah,
marked up like crazy. It's
right.
already expensive as it is.
But yeah, it
So
does hurt. It hurts a lot worse than
yeah,
paint, or they're in BBs, and it's and like I said, the paint splatters everywhere.
yeah,
I remember, like I was talking earlier, this girl I was talking to, she goes, so the next day after our conversation, I follow a bunch of paintball pages on my Instagram, so I'm scrolling through
yeah,
and I see this, I see them all the time, a little slow-mo caption or a slow-mo video of somebody peeking out, and like it just, they peek out right into like two, paintballs, like hit them right in the
yep.
mask, and just, the giant splatter everywhere.
It's amazing. Yeah,
It's amazing. And so I sent her that. And I was like, this is why. Okay, this is what I'm talking. She's like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize.
yeah,
So yeah, but there has to be some kind of, I really think if you listen, you incorporate some pain with it, and
yeah,
people will fall in line. That is, it's a given.
yeah.
Okay. Like try to play, when we used to play backyard football,
Mhm.
we
Shirts
wouldn't hit
versus
as
skins, baby.
hard. Yeah, you wouldn't hit as hard as when you play, not professional, but when you
Pads.
play for the high school team with pads.
Yeah,
You just, it's just the way it is. So,
yeah. Well, it's funny that you say that. We actually, I'm sure you know Ruby.
oh yeah, Ruby, yeah,
Yeah,
I've had him on a
Ruby.
couple times.
He's lovely guy. He's crazy, bro.
Ruby,
And
shout out Ruby, and so today is Friday, May
wait, it's his
19th.
birthday, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's his birthday. Happy birthday, bro.
Happy birthday, Ruby. Yeah, if you see this, yeah, much love, much love.
Yes.
But yeah. So he every time he plays, he just plays with his chest carrier. I'll let him run skins because like
Dude, I saw a
it's
picture
just
of him at Shot Zone just recently, no shirt and just his chest rig.
with the shotgun. Yeah, that was my tournament.
Yeah.
That was him. He destroyed me that way. He was using that's Ethan's shotgun. I'm literally like after this podcast, I'm going to sell one of my guns to get the money to build that gun because he
Oh,
shot me from like me. I was at 50, the middle of the field, and he was on the other side of the field, probably like middle way
yeah.
from their spawn. And he punk just shoots one thing, 4 BBs to each one of my fingers. I'm playing guitar the next day, so I get up to the church and.
Oh,
I'm a worship pastor, so all my people are like, "What's wrong with your fingers?" I was like, "Oh, airsoft
right.
yesterday." It's okay.
Yeah.
So they were like all swollen, and then the
Now, have you
blood
taken
blisters.
a bunch of your people from like your church or whatever? Have you done like a church event
Yes,
for Airsoft?
yes.
It's a great
I
event
try it all the time, bro.
for churches. Yeah.
Yeah, the we're actually in the shopping center right now. Uh, Under the shopping center, there actually used to be an indoor airsoft field, but it got
Hmm,
shut down because of very poor management. From what I
gotcha.
was told, I got lit up point blank, 600 FPS, 35 BBs per second, Polar Star, up and down my shirt because some guy said that I wasn't calling my hits. He came back and apologized. He's like, "Sorry, I thought it was you, someone else." I was literally bleeding through my shirt. I didn't go back
Oh,
for like 2 years
dude.
like that. and they weren't chronoing anybody. If they knew you, if the owners knew you, they're like, oh yeah, he's fine. But those were the ones that were
Oh Lord.
causing the issues. So, but yeah, so
Yeah.
but that's one thing that we do. There's a lot of
Okay.
guys that do they do run shirtless or with little padding. I don't. With our new team ASG, we just got our jerseys from Anthrax. Shout out to them. They make great stuff. I've got an awesome contact there that she does
Okay.
amazing work. But I
I'm
told
trying to
her I
think if
want
I've seen that. Is it what do they do? A special like a customized
paintball
apparel?
jerseys.
Oh, just paintball jerseys.
Yep. So they are
Oh,
based in
okay.
Greece over the
Okay.
pond.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're really
Anthrax.
cool. Anthrax paintball.
Okay.
They
I'll have to
do
check it out.
semi-custom jerseys. They do fully custom jerseys, all sorts of stuff like that. They've been my go-to since like 2018.
Okay.
But I told her I was like, hey, we're starting to get into the community where we're not looking to protect ourselves as much. I would rather my guys feel the shot before protecting them from it. And she suggested the semi-pro jersey is what they've got, and it's no padding, no nothing. It's a light material. It's thick enough to where you can tell it's paintball material. Like you could slide on turf maybe for a
Mm,
year and it would last.
gotcha.
Um, but other than that, like it's pretty light, and the way that it fits, it's a little baggier when it comes to length because it's supposed to fit long. But if you fit it the right way, if you get the right size and you're not trying to get too big on your sizing, then it fits sort of tapered to your body, and you're not going to have any of those like you see with the paintball jerseys and stuff how they'll get hit in the side and it just takes a little bit of the
Right.
force for them.
Mm-hmm.
But that's something that I'm telling all my guys, they're required to not wear as much pads. The only type of pads I let my guys wear is because I play snake. So I'm one of the guys that's usually running and sliding headfirst into snake or whatever the
Mm-hmm.
position is at the front. So I wear the HK crash slide protectors on my
Okay.
arms because we do play on concrete and
Mm,
it's totally a safety violation. But there's not even concrete at Nashville sometimes. You got to have that so you're not breaking your arm on concrete sometimes. But my back players, they can't wear pads. I don't let them wear pads. The only thing you can wear is knee pads. That's it.
well, now,
Because
if
I don't
somebody
want
is playing, like, if somebody's playing in a field like that and they don't have the money for pads and they don't have anything on their arms,
to just
well, what
slide,
do they do? They just,
slide.
so it can be done. Okay.
It can be done. It just hurts really bad.
Is there another way
At
to
that
slide
point,
without without on your arm, without being on your
you
arms or
can.
something?
You can
Okay.
slide. I've got quite a few videos that I've recently adopted this at Nashville.
Yeah.
But you just wear knee pads and you slide in the prone position
Oh,
and you
yeah,
actually
yeah.
like glide and you can shoot while you're gliding into your position. That's actually how I got a lot of different
Okay.
people out this last tournament.
Yeah.
People weren't running it. If anything, they were sort of running and then diving in. And as
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
diving in, I'm already sort of on the outside because I've got the plastic and I'm hitting them in their legs as they get into snake. Now, did they
Okay.
call it? 50% of them did. 50% of them did. So
Right.
I got the videos for it. So
It's got to be
yeah,
hard to feel those when you're in an action like
it's
movement
not.
like that.
It's not.
Really,
When you're
like when you're running
there's
and
a couple
diving
times
and it hits you in the leg or something, you might, I don't know.
unless someone's shooting really low FPS. I
That's true.
mean,
Yeah.
you can shoot. You're allowed. I crank for tournaments. I get my FPS. I don't know what it is for Nashville. I just keep it the same. But at Shot Zone, mine's literally to the max. As soon
Okay.
as I get to that, like I'm always shooting as hot as I possibly can. Not over the limit, right at the limit, so that I
What are
can make
they?
sure that
What
people
is it
call it.
like? 1.5 joules or 1.3 joules or
For
something
my
like that?
tournaments, I only run 1.2.
Two.
I'm pretty
Okay.
sure that's the general rule at Shot Zone. I don't quote me on that. That's just
Yeah.
what I do. Me and Ethan sort of talked that out since you're going to be a lot closer with 1v1s.
Mm,
You're not going to be across the field
true.
90% of the time. You're going to be
Yeah.
meeting in the middle or somewhere. I know for NSL it's 1.1. The Europeans run it a little bit different. It's
Gotcha.
a lower joule limit. But I mean 1.2, 1.3 at some places I've been at. It just depends. But that's usually what I sit at. I'll usually sit at a clean 330 FPS with whatever BBs I'm using at
Mm,
the joule limit. But
gotcha.
yeah, you can definitely feel it. You can tell there's a difference between a ricochet and you getting straight up hit.
Mm-hmm.
Especially from the angles too, and the way that it's set up. In Nashville, it's just a giant rectangle box with the field in the middle.
Gotcha.
So there's no way that from certain angles, if you get hit in a certain way, like in the side, and there's no way it could have came from anybody but a hit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I talk about it with all the teams all the time. We're all cool. Like I have no bad blood with any of the teams up there.
Yeah.
There's a couple players that like, we're good. We'll talk, but personally, I'm just like, yeah, just don't care for you as a player because I know you're known for shrugging your hits, and
Mm-hmm.
I just got to bite my tongue whenever I play against them. I just got to
Yeah.
shoot as much as I possibly can to them. It's one of those things where people they know that they'll only get hit if it's super obvious that they get hit, and then they'll walk off.
Well,
So
yeah. Right. That's what we were
that's how
talking
it
about
is.
earlier, where they're yeah, if they know that if somebody saw it, then okay,
Exactly.
yeah, I guess I'll call it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's all good. I run an ESG and Snake now. I used to be a pistol main. I recently swapped it out, and now I'm running like one of the. It's like a monk. Actually, the one I have got is a monk, but I'm about to
Oh, like the Euro
swap it
builds or
out.
whatever.
Yeah, show and tell
Okay.
time. I got it ready
Yeah,
for
yeah,
us.
yeah. Let's do it.
So this
Oh,
is
bro, that is nice.
yeah. So it's
Who
black
did the
and
paint
gold.
job?
This is actually a original monk build. So this came straight
Wow,
from Monk Customs.
it's beautiful.
I traded my poison slide purple pistol for it, just because I'm trying to get out of playing Snake. The older I get, and the more responsibility I get with these events, I'm trying to become more of a back
Back
player
player,
slash captain, so I
coach.
can
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
coach more.
Direct.
And that's what I want to do. So I wanted a
Mm-hmm.
rifle. So I found a guy. He's like, yo, he's out Praetorian, Ryu. His name's Xander. He
Oh,
built
dude, I'm doing
this.
a podcast with him in a few days. Yeah.
Yo, okay, so he's awesome people. He built this,
Okay.
and I traded him my pistol for it. And this is what I normally run, but I'm actually selling this today because I've got another Euro build that I built. It's mine, and plus I've got with my new team, we're partnering with Carnage Customs, so I really want to support his products and stuff. So I'm gonna build another one of these, but white with gold specks everywhere like this for my other
Oh,
build.
that's wild.
So that's what I've been running. This is my main one right now. It's a little bit longer.
Okay.
So it's just a black SSG1 body with the aluminum grip, a little bit
Mm-hmm.
longer. So those are my two rifles. And then my pistol, I don't have a Kappa that's working right now. So right now, this is my main one, my AAP 01,
Oh, nice.
black and red edition, snub nose. It is
I
super,
was gonna say
super
that
small.
is really short. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like it's very, very
Yeah.
short.
That's
And
wild.
it's my go-to when I play
Mm-hmm.
Snake. I
Okay.
run the monk adapter with it just because more shots.
Yep.
I recently, and some people will hate on it, but I recently I've been playing a lot. I'm pretty close with Elite Airsoft, so Will and Shorty and Scotty and all them. A lot of them told me, "Hey, just start running green gas mags when you play Snake for your pistol." I didn't believe them. I was like, "Nah, there's no way." But they say it forces you to become more aware of your ammo count. You're
Mm-hmm.
not just shooting the barrier.
Right.
You're thinking about your shots. You're prioritizing accuracy. You're
Yeah.
prioritizing making sure that your build is as good as it can be. I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. I'll trust these guys because they're great players. So I swapped. I went out and bought all the green gas mags that I could. I ran it, and for about 3 months straight, that's all I ran. And I'm a believer now. I
Yeah.
100% believe it makes you a better player. You rethink your
Okay.
shots. You're not just sitting there spraying as much as
Mm-hmm.
you can, and it's great. But when I swapped over to my ESG, I realized, oh, I don't have a working Kappa right now, so I have to go back to the tank, the line, and the regulator, which
Yeah.
is part of the whole reason I got the ESG because I hate running a tank on my back
Gotcha.
because I know there's so many people that you'll shoot them in the tank. If you get hit in the tank, you don't feel it, and
For
90% of
sure.
the time you can't hear it either because it's in a
Yeah. It's
bag.
behind you, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I tell reps all the time, or I even tell people that I'm in a competition with. I was playing against Praetorian 2 tournaments ago, and Cobra, awesome guy. He came up afterwards and shot me a couple times in the bag, and I didn't feel it. So then he shot me once or twice in the side, from point blank. And I was like, oh, golly, that hit. And he told me, he's like, hey, man, sorry, I hit you in the bag a couple of times. I was like, bro, literally just tell me and I'll walk off the field. I trust you.
Yeah.
Because I'd much rather keep the environment as clean and as enjoyable as possible than be like, oh, yeah, you didn't touch me. No,
Right.
you don't know if you get hit in the bag. I'll trust you for it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I
No
love it.
kidding, right? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, man,
it's
that's
fun.
I always I asked this question when I first started these podcasts, like when I started finding out about more of these airsoft guns and stuff, was
Yeah,
like why didn't they, I always questioned why didn't they just port over the paintball style of build, as opposed to the gearbox and the all this other crap that goes into it that's like falling apart when these, I'm like, what? We had such a good system. It's a solid system. It's been like that since it started. The same
yeah,
system. It hasn't even changed. We've got air, and you got, it goes into the gun like right here. You don't need a tank. You don't need a bag. You don't need a.
yep.
And of course, I found out, why like AEGs are more popular for because of longer play. They last longer.
It lasts a
You don't
whole lot
run out of,
longer.
yeah, a whole lot longer. So
You don't have to pay for air. You don't have to lug around a
yeah,
scuba tank like I've got
yeah,
to make sure you've got air. 'Cause some fields don't carry it.
right.
Um, so there's definitely pros and cons to each.
There
Um,
is.
I just
But I'm really liking
recently
these new Euro builds for this for these speedball
have you
tournaments
used one?
or
Have you
speed.
used one?
No, I mean, it looks just like a paintball gun. So I've used I had a Tippmann
Yeah.
98. It looks very similar.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so you haven't used any of like the competition markers that you can like
No, no,
ramp up to like 10.5, 15 balls per second.
no,
Okay. If you're ever
no.
in
The only
Tennessee, hit me
thing,
up.
so
I'll let you
my,
use
the
it.
only the let's see what kind of cool stuff have I used here. Todd, who lives local to us, he's been on a few of our videos, or whatever. He's a local, or he's a viewer of our channel that we've met, from him commenting on our YouTube videos or whatever. So he's been in a couple of videos. He brought over an AAPO1 that he did some upgrades to, and he did the tapped thing.
Yeah.
So like you were like, what's on yours, and
Hmm.
so we tried that. So I've tried that kind of thing. Uh,
Monster.
these guys did the Kythera build. So I mean, I've shot
Solid engine.
HPA, yeah, but nothing too crazy. I haven't, the craziest thing I ever tried in airsoft was the tag-in launcher, and we shot some Reaper rounds and some chalk rounds.
Yeah.
And it was awesome, dude. It was awesome. It was like I'm not kidding, man. It was like the feeling I got when we in the military when we shoot the M2, the Deuce, the
Yeah.
50 cal machine gun. You're like, what?
That inner man in you is just like, yes,
Oh,
I'll blow
dude.
something up.
You just feel this power, like,
Yeah.
oh yeah. So that was the craziest thing. But as far as those new Euro builds and
Mhm.
even like high kappas, I've never tried them out. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I guess it also depends on like because I know you play milsim and stuff like that, which is awesome. I don't even understand that world actually. I tried to get into it. Um,
it's
it
easy,
was
bro. Listen, you'd
it's
barely even play.
expensive,
Okay, it's very expensive.
expensive.
Okay, get all your gear. Okay, get all your shit together. Uh, Go to a three. Buy the ticket. Go to a 3 day thing. Um, it's here's what it is. They play very little airsoft. Majority of people that go there. So out of 700 people, there might be like maybe half that are really playing. The
Yeah,
other half are they're there for the community and to hang out and the camping and the drinking and the smoking and the campfire at night and
yeah,
the stories, and I mean it's a real camping event with where you're sitting around looking badass in this gear, in this military gear,
yeah,
and you tell stories about what it's really cool. It's really cool.
yeah.
So
I've
I
I've
love the
told myself I
environment.
will do it one day. I will do it one day.
Yeah.
I've got a friend that he's uh he's definitely more on the milsim side, and actually one of my teammates from Huckleberry. You talked with him a
Oh
while
yeah.
back.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's swapping more over to the milsim side,
That's what he was saying.
and
Yeah.
he just got his chest rig, and he's showing it off in our Discord. We're like, oh, you're cool, you're cool. I told him I was like, you better not be leaving us. If you leave us, I'm gonna be mad. Uh, No, I was like, yeah, I think every style should be tried out by everybody. You can't
Yeah.
hate on something if you haven't tried it. So, because for a long time, back when I first started Airsoft, I used to, that's all I wanted to do. Like, I've got pictures of me in like full camo. Like, I was a Novrich boy, a
Oh
fanboy. I
yeah.
wanted to be a sniper. So, I got a
Okay.
sniper, realized it was trash and it wasn't as fun as rushing up on somebody with a pistol. And
Yeah.
over time, I've just grown gradually to like the indoor scene or the speed QB competitive scene a whole lot more.
Okay.
But there are days where I just like, there's a local church camp that's maybe like 35, 45 minutes away from our church. And a lot of our guys, they just got basic, like, combat machines or something that they got for
Hmm.
Christmas. And
Yeah.
we'll just take a day on a Saturday, just, hey, everybody, meet at the church. We're going to leave the church parking lot at 8 o'clock, get up there to the church parking or to the camp parking lot at like 9, get your gear on. We're starting at 10. We're going till dark. Bring as many batteries and BBs as you can. And it's like
Oh, that's
a
cool.
100 something acres. And I know the camp
Wow.
owner, and he says, yeah, you can shoot anywhere you want to, just don't shoot at the lodge.
Yeah.
And if you have any BBs or anything like that, just make sure that you, as much as you can, pick them up. Don't leave them on the tables, and et cetera, et cetera. And it's awesome. Like, we run walkie talkies. We play all sorts of different game modes, like SEAL Team Six Down,
Oh
where
yeah.
the helicopter landed in the right place in the forest, and only one that squad knows where they're supposed to get for evac, but
Okay.
nobody else does. So it's like 6 guys versus 20,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
6 guys have got only 2 lives. They can only get medicked by the 2 medics that are in their team with their bandage.
Right.
Everybody else has got unlimited lives, but when they die, they can't respawn or get medicked. They have to walk all the way back to respawn.
Gotcha.
So it's like it's fun,
That's a
but
cool game
now,
mode.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's super fun, and it lasts like 2 hours sometimes. People are walkie talkieing back and forth, and um, again, it's just that excitement of like you never know where you could get shot from. It's like,
Right.
is he over there? Is he over there? Whereas we're with me, it's like 3, 2, 1, go. You know where everybody is, and you could get shot at
Uh-huh.
any second. Uh, but
Well,
no,
that, I
it's
mean,
it's super
that's pretty
fun.
much like milsim. There is something though about some of these bigger ones that is really attractive because of the scale, right?
That's
It's
what I was going to say. The scale of Milsim West and some of these events that I've seen, that's what I would love to experience, just to go see
right.
and be a part of that huge group that's like, 30, 40 people just like straight up running at this building, just trying to take it over.
Yeah,
So
it is.
I'd
Yeah,
love
these
that.
This episode is sponsored by Skirmish, the future of airsoft gameplay management. Are you ready to take airsoft to the next level? Skirmish's innovative gameplay solution keeps players and spectators engaged with real-time updates. Capture objectives, detonate targets, medic, and more at skirmish-enabled fields. Skirmish tracks every action so you don't have to. Review past games, action by action, and follow your progress in national rankings. Phones are not required. If you want to find out more, head to skirmish.net and check out episode 157 of this podcast where I talk with the owner of Skirmish about how it started and how it works. Stay connected, my friends. This episode is also sponsored by JefesAirsoftSolutions.com. Are you looking for a company that puts the community first? Look no further than Jefes Airsoft Solutions. Their founding principle is to offer a way for players of all types to get the greatest experience possible. Their passion is to make a difference in the airsoft community and serve each of their customers with the utmost respect. Be part of the conversation by joining hundreds of fellow airsofters in their Discord server. Here you can find out about upcoming events, sales, giveaways, and more. Don't wait any longer. Join today and start enjoying all that Jefes Airsoft Solutions has to offer. Together, we can make a difference in the community. Use the code Trifecta10 and save 10% on your next purchase at JefesAirsoftSolutions.com. Some exclusions apply. The Stonebreaker last year was 700 people, so there's 350, around 350 on each team, and I mean, that's a lot of people. Okay,
Yeah.
and so there's constant action. There's constant action going on.
Yeah.
Very, very few times is it like a stalemate where there's somebody's always, because there's so many people,
Yeah.
you always have you're always going to have that guy that's like you, right? The run and gun. Uh, and Tonka, I've had him on a couple times, call sign Tonka. He goes to a lot of mil sims. He's like a forward kind of player. So
Yeah.
he'll get up with the group. He's a great support player too, with his team, but he'll he'll just flank people, right?
Yeah.
He'll flank
Yeah.
a whole team, and he's not afraid to run out. And he knows, a lot of these fields that he goes, these big milsims. So you always have at least somebody that's willing to push. And then the tryhards, they're out of Florida as well. They stick together, and they know how to run these games, right? They know how to run
Yeah.
certain areas, like, so there's constant action. Like they're like, okay, you guys move up. They might get hit, but they're cannon fodder. Okay, like we're trying to make this push. So there's
Yeah.
always something going on, and yet there's an organization to it that's not total chaos because
Yeah.
of the rule sets, right? And the
Yeah.
admins and and the objectives that you're trying to take. So it's a cool experience for my part, to view and watch through a camera and talk with these guys. And for everybody else that I've seen, my sons and all the friends I met through this thing, to see them play, it is a cool experience. Yeah, I think you're gonna
Yeah.
like whenever you go to a big one like that.
Yeah, I've the biggest thing that I've done, because I've had so many guns, just like every airsoft player. It's like, oh yeah, this will be the last one. Lies, it's a lie. Uh, that's what I told my mom and my
Uh,
dad, and I still tell my wife, oh, yeah, this is the last one. No, it's not. You'll never have enough.
yeah.
So my build, I was building in, I guess it's called a rec build. I guess it was sort of like I was watching something with one of my friends, and it's like I forgot which milsim it was, but it was one of the divisions where your whole purpose was to go out, scout, get information, and
Right.
every now and
The
then just
recon.
cause chaos. Yeah, so like a
Mhm.
DMR build.
The art,
So
art.
I had the whole
See, we
parts
first
list
got
out.
one of those. We didn't even know what to say. We got one of those recce whatever guns,
Yeah,
and
recce.
yeah,
Yeah,
in a mystery box. And I'm like, they're like, what is this acronym? I'm like, I don't know. That
yeah,
shit came out after I was out of the military. I don't. They
yeah,
didn't call anything that when and but yeah, it's like some kind of forward like recon type
yeah.
of build or whatever.
That's what I wanted to do because I didn't have a crew to go
Gotcha.
with. So I was like, yeah, just throw me on recon. I can run. I
Yeah.
do cross. I don't do it anymore. I did cross country. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to run with a pack on all the time just to add in a little bit of weight.
Right.
So I thought it'd be fun. Had a Glock sidearm. I was ready. I was like, oh, cool, sweet. And then I got hit with the speed QB bug and sold all that. It's just like, yep, nope. Now I'm a speedy boy.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
but
listen,
that's
bro.
sort
When
of
you go
one.
to a big mill sim, being in that kind of shape,
Yeah,
you will stand out big time. Okay, like
yeah,
you'll be in the top 5% of the people there. I
really.
promise you. I'm not even kidding. That can push like that because there's a lot. Majority of people are not. Even if they're not overweight, they're
Yeah.
not in a kind of endurance kind of shape, right?
Mhm.
So even guys that I've seen and I've talked with on here or that I've seen at the fields that look like they could go the distance, they
Yeah.
they overheat really quickly. Like,
Mhm.
and I'm not putting anyone down.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the overheating thing most of the time is mental. Okay, if you can't push through feeling
Yeah.
because your head's hot and you can't push through that, and you gotta kind of go back to the camping area and chill out with a fan on your head or something, bro. Okay,
Just push through
so
it,
I'm just
bro.
telling you, I'm not trying to put them down. Okay,
Yeah, I know
I'm
what you
just
mean.
saying you're going to be in the top 5% if you can last more than the first wave of 2 hours of play. There's a lot of
Yeah.
guys like the tryhards, Laz and his group. They are beasts, man. They train. They really train as a team together,
Yeah.
like military train. Okay,
That's sick.
calisthenics, movements. I mean, go, go, go.
Wow.
They last. Okay, so you're
Yeah.
going to be in the top if you can. Yeah, if you can hang with running around with all the gear on and stuff for more than 4 hours or whatever, you're
Oh,
going to be
heck
in the
yeah.
top 5% of the people in these big mill sims. I
Yeah.
promise you.
Even in my brain, I'm just like, bro, I paid good money for this. I'm not gonna go sit down. Like that's my
Right.
mentality too. It's just like, okay, even if I'm like miserable the next week, that's okay.
Yeah.
I had a good time.
Well,
So
I mean, that's
that's
the obviously that's the good thing about the variety of airsoft. Like it
yeah,
offers all these different things, all these different experiences. So if somebody wants to
exactly.
go, like my boys when they first told me about going to a milsim, I didn't know what the word meant. I was like, "What is a milsim?" They're like military simulation. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, you're not gonna make it, because they both got fat as hell after high school because they played football, and they're big dudes. They were linemen, but they were
Yeah.
working out like crazy. They were squatting, 400 or 500 pounds or whatever it was, and like,
Golly.
dude, they were huge. Okay,
Yeah.
they still are. Um, but they stopped working out after high school. And then, a couple years later, they get into Airsoft and they say, oh, I want to go to milsim. So they gain like 50 pounds after high school, sitting around playing video games, eating Cheetos and shit. And then
Yeah.
I was like, what do you have to do in this milsim? They're like, well, it's military simulation. I was like, no way. So it's like boot camp for 3 days? They're like, well, I don't know. They hadn't been to one. So I was like, they said, I don't think it's that strict. But anyway, I was thinking, okay, y'all aren't going to make it. You better start
Yeah.
training now. And they're like, no, no. A lot of people go just to, and this is where I started learning about this whole
Mhm.
environment. And when I went to my first one, I was like, oh, okay, dude, it really does offer a wide range of experiences for everybody. Like it kind of caters to everybody. Like especially these Third Coast Airsoft events, they're
Yeah.
they're not too strict, right?
Mhm.
And then they have this giant area. GTI is a big area, and you go there. Everyone comes in with their like tents and their campers and their RVs. This one team
Bro.
went together and rented an RV. It's like this place. It's almost like a Airbnb for RVs. So
Yeah.
people that have their own, that want to rent them out, and then instead of letting it sit there for 9 months out of the year,
Smart.
yeah, it's very smart. So they
Yeah.
rent it for way cheaper than, so it was decked out, bro. Like really, it was
Wow.
like a main attraction. And there was like four of them like that at Stonebreaker last year. So, they got TVs popped up. Uh, I mean, just, it's a really fun time. Okay.
Yeah.
Even off the field. So then they go play for a little bit. So there is a really good experience between, for all of that. So if some of the guys, a lot of those guys, like I'm saying, and my boys included, they'll go out and play, um, and they won't quit on their team, but they're not going gung ho 24/7. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're
Yeah.
heavy. They're like, okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
we're not going to Milsim West kind of stuff. Okay. You know, but they still have fun. They have fun, even though I was like, well, you're not getting your money's worth. They're like, yeah, we are. We love the experience, like getting around everybody
Yeah.
doing that. I was like, oh, okay, I get it. So it
There you
really
go.
took me a minute to understand, and especially until I went to my first one, and I was like, okay, this is really cool, man. Really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely gonna have to get out to one. I know so many people that are going that route instead of speed. And I feel like it's good. Just sort of like what Chris was talking about, how there's like a cycle of things, how you've got the
Mm,
rentals that'll take over, and then you've got the competitive players and stuff.
yeah,
I
sure.
think it's also for players, it's important to branch out and play different variants because otherwise you're just going to burn yourself out on
Mm,
that variant in general. Um, and I'm seeing the same thing. Like a lot of people are going and playing paintball right now. It's the same thing. It's speed, but it's actually it's what speed came from. Paintball had it first.
yeah.
But that's something I thought would be really cool, just to take a small break from the competitive scene, do
Gotcha.
some milsim and stuff. But that's way on the horizon. I gotta be. I'm committed to my guys right now with this new team we just started. And
Right.
they've got the itch, bro. They're like, we can't wait to play speed and do X, Y, and Z. And
Well, let me ask you
it's
this
yeah,
about the speed stuff. Do you, in the tournament play, if there was a more accurate system of calling hit, like if there wasn't so much cheating, do you think
yeah,
you would be more invested, or I feel like most people I've talked with, this is a really common theme where there is a big reason they get frustrated with playing is
yeah,
because of that. That's where a lot of the frustration comes from. That's, I guess I'll finish my thought from way earlier when I was talking about this, like in life and then of course in airsoft. The
yeah.
people that are honest, and majority of people are honest, we want to do good. The majority of people call their hits. They're honest. They do this, but then they see that there's no consequences or accountability for the people that don't do that. In fact, sometimes on a field, it's they get rewarded in that
Yeah.
game because they don't call their hit, not purposely getting rewarded for that, but
They
indirectly
get an
because
advantage.
they get an advantage, and now they shoot you, and the ref sees it, and now you're out, and you're like, dude, I shot him like four times.
Mhm.
Like, oh, I didn't see it. Okay. And he's not calling it. So we see these things. It's very, very frustrating. And I think
Yeah,
that, when somebody is not going to pay to do a hobby and put all this time and energy into it if they're not having fun. Like the whole point of it
Yeah.
is to have fun in the end. And if I do that with video games, if I start a video game and it's too hard, I'm not good at video games. Okay, I
I'm
enjoy
not
it,
either. It's
but I'm
okay.
not good at it. My reflexes are horrible. Okay, and
Hey, VR, bro. I've swapped to VR. That's the only video games I play now, and it's whole new world. But
I
it's so much easier because you
I
actually
need to
get to
try
do
that.
it.
Well, my son has one with the
Yeah,
handles and all the. I don't know which one it is, but it's like
an
the higher tiered
Oculus.
one. Yeah, the Oculus with the little
Yeah,
dude. Uh, so I tried it out when he first got it. He had No Man's Sky, his
yes,
PC game. So it's beautiful environment and all this
it
kind of
is.
stuff. So I put it on, and my balance isn't that great because my feet. I
It'll
really don't
mess with
feel
you.
my feet. I still have leftover like nerve damage or whatever it is, but so I
Mm,
can't really feel like where balancing like this on my feet. So
yeah,
I had to hold on to them, and I put it on, and I was like, whoa. Uh, and,
yeah,
but it was so cool, man. If I could do
yeah.
it sitting down, or maybe like if
You
I
can.
held on to somebody, I
They've
don't know,
made
but
lots of different adjustments. Like I play lots of shooters on there. We've got Onward,
okay.
which is a military simulation. We've got one that's called Contractors, and you can. It's like Call of Duty. It's more fast paced, but you can mod it. You can do whatever you want to. Like I was on Camino, the planet where the clones were made on Star Wars. That was like Lego clones shooting Lego. Like it, you can mod it to do whatever you want to. I was playing paintball and Geonosis at one point. You can
Oh
do
my
all
gosh.
sorts of stuff, bro. And then that's what a lot of people are actually leaving, just to sort of like piggyback off that thought you said
Yeah.
about how like if there's a way for people to call it, lots of people that I know have actually left and they're playing this thing called Snapshot VR. It's a paintball simulator where you cannot if you get hit, it automatically brings you out. You can't cheat. And there's teams that are being created and they're playing all sorts of stuff like that. Um,
Oh wow.
because they're tired of how bad the cheating in the airsoft community has become and how toxic it's gotten.
Okay, I
Um,
have heard of this VR thing. Matter of fact, when you said it, Snapshot, the guy I had on here that, in fact, he's the one that told me about it was he is creating his call sign's Minty. He's up in Michigan, and he's creating the SnapSoft app, social media
really,
app for airsofters, just for airsoft. So it's going to be like Instagram.
yeah,
And in fact, I need to reach out to him. I haven't seen him post anything recently, but he's working on building this app. Because you know how a lot of airsoft stuff is getting shadow banned, and you can't post
yeah,
this, you can't
yeah,
post that, uh, which is really strange, especially when you see all these TikTok videos and Instagram videos of people hurting each other, like on the streets. You see all this crime and like people actually hurting somebody,
oh
and that
no, a
doesn't.
plastic toy
Yeah,
that looks
I'm
like a
like,
gun.
bro.
No, it's all by design,
It's
bro.
weird. So
We'll be
the
here all day if we go down that rabbit trail. So
I
just letting
know,
you
right?
know, we can put a pin in it. That'll be next episode.
Well, anyway, he's creating the SnapSoft, and he said, well, the reason
Awesome.
he brought up Snapshot was because he's like, I was going to call it Snapshot, but there's a game VR that's Airsoft or whatever, and it's called Snapshot. So that
Yeah,
sounds awesome, though. I'll have to
it's
ask my
awesome, man.
son um, the next time I talk with him about trying that out because he's got that
Yeah,
whole setup, and yeah, I'd love to do something like that. Okay.
definitely. It's super cool, man. It's literally paintball, but you're just in your room.
Yeah.
Just doing it there. You don't have to clean your bag afterwards. Like
I know, right?
you're good. You don't feel the pain either, so you can rush and play a
Yeah.
snake if you usually don't play snake, and you'll be fine.
I got to
So
tell you though, man, I really enjoyed the sharing our welts, like comparing the welts after the paintball
yes,
games. Okay,
yours isn't as
that
big
was
as
part.
mine,
Yeah, man, look at this one,
dude.
bro.
Yes, we got a guy got hit straight in his family jewels and like started bleeding afterwards because the guy ran up on him
Oof.
and pop pop pop. Then just he was just shooting to shoot. He wasn't doing it like with ill intent or anything.
Right, right.
But it was speedball, and we were all using Titman 98 customs. And this guy brought his own gun, and it turned out he
Yeah.
was shooting hot, and the guy
Okay.
got shot right in the yeah, it was bad. So he was like peeing blood the rest of the night, and
Oof.
like we're at a men's conference for Jesus, and everybody's just
Okay.
like, all right, we're gonna pray for him, otherwise he needs
Hmm.
to go to the emergency room. And we prayed for him. He was fine later. He's like,
Yeah.
bro, y'all want to see my welt? And then we're just like, no, no.
No.
It's hilarious. So
I know,
every
right?
time someone says something about paintball, well, I get like that flashback. I'm like,
That's what, yep.
bro.
Elephantitis in the nuts, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
Yeah,
I always joke around like, hey man, wear two pairs of underwear, okay, when you go play. Like it won't hurt, I promise you. I mean, it'll only help you. It's not gonna make you overheat. It's not
yeah,
gonna, be all like if you wear a cup, it's in the way and all that kind of stuff. But
yeah. I hate
you wear
them.
just two
I never
pairs of
wore them.
underwear, bro, it helps so much.
Yeah, I mean, you can buy those like under sliders too that have the padding built in.
That's true, yeah.
They're super expensive though for what it's worth.
Hmm.
I'd rather just double up on underwear, like you said.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, I haven't played in years. I haven't had to worry about it. So
uh,
some people are like, "You play Snake and you don't wear anything." I'm like, "No, it's airsoft. If you've gotten hit with a paintball, airsoft's nothing. Literally
right.
nothing."
For real,
So
bro.
yeah,
So you started X1 um team or what do you so go over what you started again. I can't remember. You have a team that you
gotcha.
started and then you
So
have
yeah,
X1 tournaments,
so
right?
yeah, X1 is a more like an organization. So X1 members, X1 players, they can go to our website and it's free. Anybody can sign up and be an X1 member. And practically what that gains you is access to our events, access to our media, access to the leaderboards. So you're able to see the leaderboard, you're able to apply for the leaderboard once you start coming to our events. And your information is logged, kept, and you can at any time you want to, you can go on our website and see who's the best, who's gone up, who's gone down, how many rounds they've won, how many matches they've won, how many points they've accumulated, and that's how that started. We
Yeah.
specialize in 1v1 events just because that's what it's easier to ref, it's easier to handle on the admin side. And then also, it helps every player know that they are really good at what they do. Because you can say, "Oh yeah, that team's really good," but there could be only like three players that are carrying the other two, and they're just there to be bodies. So when it comes down to 1v1, you actually have to put your money where your mouth is and be like, "Yeah, I'm pretty good." So like Akimbo is pretty high on the leaderboard right now. Ruby's climbing the
Really?
leaderboard pretty good as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
Akimbo's been at every one of the events. That I love him, man. He shows up every time. He's excited about it. His thought process is insane. Me and him 1v1 like 4 or 5 times at this last event, just because we both play very similarly.
Yeah.
And
How'd it turn out?
well, it was a patch grab event, so we had to wager patches. Our first patch grab event we did, or the first match we did, I only wagered one patch because I'm like, it's a Kimbo, he's really good, and we both play very similarly. So I used
Okay.
my ESG, so I had a little bit of a trigger advantage. He used his Kappa,
Yeah.
and I 4-0'd him. First game, I was like, oh, I'm feeling good. He's like,
Yeah.
rematch. I want a rematch. I was like, okay, sweet. So a couple rounds went by, I let some other people play, and then him rematched again. Only one patch, and he ended up beating me like 4-2. So,
Okay.
okay, sweet. So for the third match, I'm like, hey, tiebreaker, guess what? We're going to put 3 patches on the line. And both of us didn't have too many patches left over. I was like, just not all or nothing, but a lot or nothing. He goes, bet. So we played, and it was a nail biter of a game. Like just one wrong movement, and we were both getting really close. It ended up being a tie, 2-2, and I think we ended up going into a tiebreaker, which with our variant, you're on a speedsoft field.
Yeah.
You've got 1 minute to play the game, and every 15 seconds, certain zones close, and if you're in that zone, you're eliminated. So it
Oh, it's
forces you.
like
It's like a
Fortnite
battle
or,
royale. Yeah,
yeah, Battle
yeah.
Royale.
So
Yeah.
we force you to get close to each other, and
Oh, cool.
so we got to the port where I think it got to zone 2, and I was stuck behind a barrier at zone 2, and I popped out, and he was going ahead and moving up. And right as soon as he got out of the barrier, I just sort of led him and hit him a couple times. He's like, man, he got upset. So I ended up winning that one. And then he came back and he's like, I want another rematch. I don't even
Oh
care.
yeah.
Let's just play. And I think we're still tied actually. So I think
That's
it's I've
cool.
got 2 and he's got 2. But no, we both play
That's
so
one of those,
similarly.
right?
So
Like you're okay. You keep going back and forth. It's like that iron sharpens iron thing. You're going to get better
exactly,
playing against each
yeah.
other. Yeah. Okay.
And he's like he'll shoot the side of your barrier and then move to another barrier, making you think he's still there.
Right.
All the while, he's using all the other cover just to try to get behind you. Like there's once or twice he got behind me, I didn't even know he was there.
Oh, that's
So
smart.
yeah,
I
him and
think he
Ruby
was
both are
saying
crazy like that.
he played against Cujo, and I had Cujo on here
Oh yeah,
a while ago last year, and he's pretty good at the 1v1 stuff, I guess.
Yeah, he won our first tournament. Yeah,
Cujo did.
he was on. Yeah, he was on. He was the first place.
Oh,
He
wow.
played 8 matches that day and won every single one of them.
Shout
A
out
couple of them were really
Cujo.
close. Yeah, man,
Yeah.
he did pretty
Okay.
good. Pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah, I felt sort of bad too because it was my first event too while running it, and the very last game is between him and Spiffy from PBZ, um, and we hadn't implemented the zone. We had implemented the zones, but at that I'd ran so many games that day. I don't know if you've ran an event before, but your brain's just mush by the end of the day. You have no idea you're like, I don't even know what's going on.
That's
And
how I feel every morning. What are you talking about?
yeah, exactly. So like think about no coffee, you've been up all
Yeah.
night. It just like,
Right.
yeah, that's how I felt. I couldn't think straight at all. And one of my refs was literally looking at me, waiting for me. I didn't even call the zones. I was supposed to call the zones, and Cujo was stuck at home, and Spiffy had pushed all the way up to the 50. So he's all the way at the middle, waiting for him to move, and I didn't even call the zone. So technically, Cujo won that
Okay.
game because of my poor administrative side of
Yeah.
things. And I felt so bad. I had to apologize to Spiffy so many times. I was like, bro, please forgive me. I'm so sorry. I'm so
Yeah, yeah.
sorry. And but it like I ended up giving Spiffy a couple more points though because that was a mistake on my side, and it wasn't
Yeah.
clarified in the rules. It could have been written either, or it could have been
Oh,
read
I
either
gotcha.
way. So I clarify. I had to go back and clarify it, and that's on my rules. Like literally at the top of the page, it can change anytime I want it to because this is
Well,
it's for the
sure.
players. I want this to be the best it can possibly be. I want it to be fair. So if you guys send me
Is
something,
there a
then
way?
I'll have that.
Is there a way you can implement some kind of I don't know, some kind of system where you can see the zones, kind of
There
like maybe
is.
like a light, just a simple like LED lights at the end of each. I don't know.
We put tape down at one
Okay.
point, and 90% of the time you don't even get to zones. It's just if there's a tiebreaker, it has to happen. 90% of the time, whenever you see a field, it's it's built in such a way that you'll naturally know. You've got your back anchor players, like in paintball, like you've got your back players, then you've got your
Right.
mid players, and you've got your front players. Your front players trying to get as close to the 50 as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So it's literally just that. Hey, zone one, your back anchor players. So any of those, you got to move up to your middle zone. Anything in middle zone, it could be your 20-yard to 45-yard line. Technically, if you're doing it football size,
Yeah.
we even though it's not that increment, that's what we call it. So
Mm-hmm.
anywhere from 20 to 40, that's your zone two. Zone three, you have to be in the middle. You have to be at the main. We try to have some crazy builds in the middle to have some fun for people. This last tournament, we had so many ring around the rosies where people were literally like just missing each other. It was
Really?
awesome. Oh yeah,
Is
the
that on?
field
Do you
is
have that on
crazy.
your YouTube channel or something?
We didn't
Where's?
stream that day.
Oh,
It's
okay.
on.
Okay.
They usually stream it on Shot Zone's channel,
Oh, on Shot
and
Zones. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, he's got all of our past events are up there. So if anybody ever wants to go and like see those, they can always go check out Shot Zone Indie on his YouTube channel and go to the lives. They can see anything that says X1 on it. That's us. But yeah, he we had so many different times where people were missing each other. I'm gonna pull up this layout real quick. This was
Yeah,
our
yeah. I want to see it.
layout real quick if I can get it up and running. Oh, you know what? I think let's see. Wrong one. So
Yeah, that
Ethan's
sounds cool.
field is it's actually an old indoor soccer field, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And his dimensions are a little bit different than an actual paintball field.
Mm.
And I'm just double checking with
One
this
of the
stuff.
guys I talked with last night, um, the guy that owns and started this organization called Veterans for Airsoft,
Yeah,
and so I talked with him last night, Freddie Flux, and we were talking. This topic came up, same thing, with dishonesty, cheating, this kind of thing, and different fields, and how, however, the gameplay is at the field is usually determined by, or always determined by, the leadership at the field. And I've heard
exactly.
so many good things about Ethan at Shot Zone, how he runs it and everything. So,
He's an amazing man. Like
Yeah.
if I ever get to a place where I feel like God calls me out of ministry or like my time is up,
Yeah.
I want to own an airsoft field. That's something that God put in my heart like forever ago. Like
Okay.
I could take you to the spot in my church where I feel like he called me to do something big in airsoft. If it's X1, it's X1. If it's not, I want to open up a field one day. I would want to do it
Gotcha.
exactly how Ethan's doing it. Like he
Hmm.
is the role model for what you really need inside of a good competitive variant of
Yeah.
airsoft. But
Nice.
if you can see,
Nice.
is this showing up on the screen?
No, so it locked up. So it's done this to me before when I've shared the screen. So if you click on that, um, just basically, there you go. Now it's active. Okay.
Boom. So then if I scroll over here,
Yeah, see that does it again. So you just have to,
okay,
click on it and then click on it again. Like it'll, there you go. Yeah, it's frustrating
okay.
me. I don't know why it does that on
So I guess will it not let me pull it up? I guess. Well,
which
that's
one?
fun.
The YouTube one?
Where are we at? This isn't the official field layout. Let's see. I had it.
Oh, there it is, right there. Is that the
This
one
is
you're talking about?
similar, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not it. I've got a picture. It's on my desktop.
Oh,
It's Apple, so it's a little bit different. I don't know why it wouldn't be able to be pulled up, or I could just. Oh, I could be smart and not be dumb. That'd be nice, Matthew. Come on, dog. So we'll just do this, do that, do that, do that. Bada boom, bada bing. Got it. If
there he
it's
goes.
gonna
Okay.
load in any, let's see. Can I
There
zoom
you
in?
go. There you go. Yeah, yeah. Zoom in.
All right. So this is
Okay.
the layout that we had. The breakout walls are right here
Uh-huh.
and right here. So you literally just had two people going at it. And right here, we didn't have a name for it. I just
Mm-hmm.
called it temple whenever
Okay.
we were playing stuff. You'd have someone like right here on this corner sneaking around this way, and literally at the same time you'd have someone doing this. And since
Oh.
this can's in the middle, they would walk straight past each other and wouldn't even see each other. There were so many times where people were like literally running in circles because they heard somebody running. Like
Oh,
Ruby
that's
did that like
wild.
3 or 4 times with Rainbow,
Yeah.
and it was amazing.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was super fun,
This
and
really looks cool, this setup.
yeah, it's cool, and it changes every time. So every time you come, there's going to be a different layout. There's going to be a different format of how it's going to be played because we change
So
it
you
based off of everything.
now you can only like there's got to be this setup. If it changes like
Mm-hmm.
that, you can only do that at certain fields, right? Because some
Mm-hmm.
fields have hard structures. So
Yeah,
shot zone, I know you can change it. He's got
yeah.
that set up with
Hence why we use his field. It's amazing
gotcha. Okay.
because you can change it however you want to, and
Mm-hmm.
just the facility is perfect.
Yeah.
Um, but no, like in certain places, and I'll go ahead and get rid of that. But let's see, boom. But in certain places with physical barriers, you're sort of limited, and that's even if they let you move them.
Right.
We've got Shot Zone's the only one that I really have settled and said, hey, every single time that I've committed to a time, we're going to do this. I want
Mm-hmm.
X1 to be part of Shot Zone because I truly, truly believe that if his field was duplicated and put into different various cities that like are closer to the East Coast, closer to Nashville,
Mm-hmm.
and that was replicated here, it would be like the speedsoft community would be blowing up, and we wouldn't have as
Yeah.
many. It would be as toxic. It would be amazing.
Yeah, you want to have people
Um,
leaving because of the being frustrated with that kind of thing. What he needs to
yeah,
do is not just the field layout and all that, like the turf and the whole. He needs to franchise it, like the
yeah. I wish you
whole
could.
system. So the field, like this is the kind of turf you need. These are the kind of barriers.
Hmm.
Everything exactly the same, cookie cutter style, and also a training coaching class or training class for the refs that
Yeah,
that kind of caliber, just everything, the employees and the field go into
yeah,
another, stamp them out into another city. Yeah, I think that's the way to go if airsoft and competitive airsoft wants to grow.
yeah.
It's
Gonna
from
have to.
everyone I've heard from with all these different tournaments like CSL, NSL. I had Baby Goat on here talking about NSL, and it was this if they want that kind of caliber of gameplay, you got to up the you got to up the facility, man, and the
Yeah.
refs like 100%, a lot.
Well, that's down to the fields too, because like Nashville, they have it just because there's a community there. But
Yeah.
if it were really up to the owners, I don't think that they would pursue that. Um, just because of the lack of, I guess you would say, how do I say this nicely?
Is it
Just
it's a lot of work, right? To
it's a
change.
ton of work.
Yeah,
It's a ton of work to
for sure.
change. They did a great job.
I mean, that's not
I'll say
negative. Like, I mean, when you own a business, especially if you've owned it for a little while, or if
some
you
of it's
get a
just not
little bit
profitable.
burned out,
I'll tell you
you're not
that.
excited about it anymore. You're not
Hmm.
going. Look, you're going to go with the status quo, and this is majority of people. The
Yeah,
top 10% of people, or 2%, whatever, like they're going to be the gung ho go getters. They're going to innovate. They're going to push. They're going to be, 100%, 100% of
yeah,
the time. Which, well, most of the time anyway. They're not,
yeah,
but not most of us, like normal people, aren't like that.
yeah.
Even when you own a business, it turns into kind of a job, and
It
you
is.
get kind of tired of you need a break sometimes. You need,
Yeah,
you have to delegate. You have to have good people, good support system. You have to be able to pay them. So it's and then plus all the insurance stuff and all the zoning laws for having an airsoft thing. I've heard of these stories where these things close down because of technicalities like that,
yep.
safety things. I mean, there's a
After
lot that goes
crossing
into it.
state borders,
Right,
it's
right.
trust me, I feel you.
It's
X1,
a
that's
lot.
we're
It's a
taking a break
lot.
in
And if they're
July because
making,
I'm there.
I can imagine, you know, I just when I hear these stories and I hear about people that run these fields, and or I hear about these fields, and it's like, okay, if I'm making, let's say they're making 10 grand a weekend or more, like 20 grand a weekend for hosting, and they have all these, younger generation coming in, teenagers, and then, and that's the majority of what's going on. And they just kind of keep it, okay, everyone's having fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a couple guys that, do this and they get mad and, or whatever, but, like if the way the business owner knows that they're doing a good job is by people showing up and paying
yep,
for their service. So if that keeps happening, then they go, well, yeah, we've had a few issues here and there, but it's not like a big deal in their
yeah,
eyes. They don't know. So I'd imagine it is probably a lot of work to set up these events for like the tournament stuff, as
yeah.
opposed to just, oh, let's open the doors and let everybody play.
Yeah, you have to have people that are willing to ref it. You have to have people that are willing to set up the field, and you got to have
Yeah.
people that are going to have some thick skin because no matter what you do, you're not going to please everybody. My
No.
first tournament that I ran, there was people that were like, "Oh, this field's trash." By the end of it, guess what? They loved it. By the and I was just like,
Oh
okay. And
yeah.
then some of the people that started off, they're like, "Oh, this field's going to be amazing." By the end of it, they're like, "Well, this field's crap." I'm like, "That's okay. You just
Yeah.
you can't win every time." And I mean, that's a big part of it too. Is I think a lot of players need to step up and help as well. And that's sort of what I've tried to do as much as I can with X1 is I'm trying to make an event the way that I wish events would be made at my local field. If I were to duplicate that and do that here at Nashville, I would love to do that. I've offered multiple times, hey, I'll come help you run the events if
Hmm.
you need to. But again, it comes down to that's not their desire. They don't see the money in it right now. So that's another thing, but I'm not going to get off into that. I love Nashville, but it's just not what it could be for the
Yeah.
speedsoft community. But that's a big thing too, is because people are paying and wanting to come to these tournaments, and they feel like they're getting crapped on because the refs don't see anything, the refs don't
Mm,
call anything, the refs don't even know what the rules are, which
right.
technically, in a way, is their fault. But some of these refs are brand stinking new; they don't even
Yep.
know airsoft. So how are they going to know different? Now
Hmm.
you're throwing rules at them, and it's just it's more than just sitting there and facilitating and babysitting. You're actually having to call some things and be hated even more
Right.
because you're the one calling people out. And it takes a certain person to do that. I get that. Like some people just don't like
Hmm.
to call people out. I mean, I'm the type of guy that if we got a problem, we're going to talk about it and get it out of the
Right.
way. And So you can go about your day feeling good, and I go about my day feeling good,
Yeah.
and that it helps being a ref that way too, because I can look at you and say, "Hey, you got hit," and even if you're like, "No, you didn't," I'm like, "I don't care. Get out.
Yeah.
No hard feelings. This is business. Go to your dead
Right.
box. It's not personal. You got hit." And I've
Yeah.
really seen with the community at X1, we've had like two alter two times where people came and were like, "I totally hit you," and they were getting upset and they were calling each other out. And we came down to it and we're just like, "Look, we couldn't see it. The refs couldn't see it. At the end of the day, it's the refs' discretion." I even implemented a video upload. It's called a challenge video. You've got video evidence and you can physically see the BB bouncing off of somebody, and it's after a tournament, because some people you can't like look on a GoPro screen. You
Well,
can't see
that's
that.
right.
Yeah, if you go to post and you see that you've got a player that's not calling their hits, you can send it in to us, and if it's credible enough and we deem it as credible, we'll put that person on strike. We want to punish people who are going to cheat. We
Yeah.
want to allow them to know that you're not going to get away with that in our tournaments. So yeah, you might have got away with it in the moment, but it's going to hurt
Hmm.
you next time you show up. And we will have a conversation with you and be like, "Look, we've got evidence. We can even show it to you. You're not going to do that anymore. That's
Yeah.
not what we're here for. So you're warned right now. If it happens again, you're kicked out. You can't play. We can keep your money too. So
Yeah.
sucks to suck,
Yeah.
but
Right.
that's just the way it is. And I think if more places had some, like you said, some of those things in place to where the cheaters aren't going to get punished,
Yeah.
um, then it would be better.
Hmm.
But it takes a certain amount of people on the same page to run that,
Right.
and to do it with excellence. And that's not me
Uh-huh.
building my brand up or anything like that. I've just seen how it's done the wrong way so many times that I've taken that and sort of applied it my own way. And we're seeing good results. People are loving it and they're coming and returning. So,
Right.
but I feel
Yeah, the
like
one
taking a
v
break
one
every
thing
now and then,
sounds
man.
really cool. I think what you said earlier about it too is true. Like one of the things I've heard talking with people is that one of the things they have a hard time doing is like what you've had a hard time doing. Most people that start with Speedsoft that want to start a team,
Yeah.
they have it's hard for them to keep a full team, and not just a
Well, I
full
know.
team but extras because somebody can't make this particular tournament. And
Consistency.
yeah, consistency, man. Like with
That's
team
it.
members, because you're not you're paying to play. It's a hobby. You're not a paid player. You're not making money from it. So, if you have to
Even if you win the
travel and
cash
you have
prize,
to
it's not ever worth
like, oh,
you
hey, I
spend
got to
more
work
money.
this weekend. No, no, we have that tournament. Yeah, I know, but this guy said, whatever. Somebody of more seniority's got vacation, and now they're putting it on me. They're not going to call out of work or risk
Yeah.
losing their job, whatever, because of
Work comes
a
first.
paintball turn or a speed soft tournament. So it's like there's, but the 1v1. It's like, oh, it's just you and one other person, right? And whoever shows up, hey, they can go. I wonder if do they do like 2v2s? Because I wonder if there's like because it's such a common thing that I've heard where people
Yeah.
switch teams, and not even because there's bad blood. It's because they need 5 or 6 players, and they only have like 2 to 3 really core players that are
That's
committed that are going to be there.
part of the reason that I left FRA, was because the commitment issue. We'd
Yeah.
get there and we'd always play with a different team every time we got there, because
Hmm.
there's three of us that were committed and maybe three other guys that would maybe show up.
Right.
And I just got tired of it. And I was like, well, I just, there's nothing wrong with that. That's how a ton of the teams are ran. But that consistency is what you're really looking for.
Yeah.
Ethan's running a 3v3 variant, actually, that's this next
Okay.
weekend at Shot Zone. Shout out to that. Anybody that wants to go play that, please go
Yeah.
sign up. It's going to be awesome.
Okay.
Um, but he does 3v3s. With X1, our whole goal in our game variant is very simple. You just eliminate the other person. We've actually came out and we've got a 2v2 and a 3v3 variant that we actually rolled out at this past patch grab, and just let people, just three people that were individual, show up, but they want to, hey, us three, let's go find three other people and let's all wager some patches on it.
Yeah.
And we played the 3v3 variant, and it actually worked very well. There's only a couple different rule changes, but the whole thing with X1, part of the X in the logo is actually just like an elimination type style. Like whenever you hit
Gotcha.
somebody on Call of Duty or something like that, you get that little X. That's what that X
Hmm.
is for. Our whole game is literally just eliminate the other side. It's literally
Right.
just a death match. There's no respawns, no nothing. Just like first
Right.
team to eliminate them. It's SND without the bomb. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And we've heard really good feedback from the 2v2s and the 3v3s.
Okay.
Our next event in June, actually, we're doing a 2-day event. It's going to be hosted by Ruby, and it's going to be on June 10th is going to be 1v1s, and then on June the 11th, we're going to be introducing our first 5v5 X1 tournament where teams can show up and you're literally just there to eliminate the other team. And it's going to be super cool. Sierra
Yeah.
32, Ruby's team is going to be hosting and running that the next day. I'll be
Nice.
back in Tennessee because can't miss church for Airsoft. My pastor would kill me. So, and plus that's where my priority is. If it wasn't so far, then I would just like go to church and then come back afterwards. But
Yeah.
can't exactly do that
Well, I
5 hour
mean, it's good
drive.
to have priorities and know where they fit in.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
essential to a good balance in life for sure.
exactly. Yeah, man, it's fun. I think like Ethan for a couple times last year, I believe he ran some 2v2 tournaments and some 3v3 tournaments, and they all go very well. But like you said, there's always this constant jumping back and forth, or going to a different team, then going to a different team.
Right.
What I found too is it's sort of intoxicating to be on a new team and play with new people.
Sure.
And there's also something fun about starting a new team. Like I've been like straight up giddy, like making this team,
Yeah.
just because you new logos, new jerseys, new everything. You get a different color scheme,
Yeah.
so like
Gives you
it's sort
something
of
to work
like
towards.
addicting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've noticed actually in the airsoft community is people will like they've been on team for so long that they just get bored, not even with the players, but with just like the way it looks and the way it's being
Mm-hmm.
ran. So they leave and they make their own team. So then there's either bad blood or good blood, depends on how it is between that
Right.
original team and that team. They're like, oh yeah, they just broke off, blah 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 blah.
Right.
Um, and that's just like how it is. But with X1, what we're looking to do is you can sort of do that however you want to. If you want to make a 2v2 team, go ahead, get a logo, get some jerseys, do whatever you want to. If you want to
Right.
have a 3v3 team, guess what? You can have different jerseys, different logo. You can do whatever the heck you want to do as long as you show up and you're like within our rules and regulations. This is your game. Just show up and fling BBs at each other. We
Yep.
don't care, and
Dude,
it's super fun.
yeah, I'm glad you said that because that's the exact mentality that I have with this podcast is um, I don't have any format. I don't have a strict format. I don't have a set questions or and I don't have you don't have to um, okay, you have to wear this or you can't wear that or you can't
Yeah,
show off your gun or you can't or you can't say airsoft gun. Like I don't have any of these restrictions. Okay, like all these people I've seen this a lot, especially recently where a lot of YouTubers are they're not even saying, like, they're changing their whole vernacular, like
for the
vocabulary
algorithm.
on what, like they're not saying dead or shoot or gun or like
Now
all the things
replica
pertaining to,
and projectile or
yeah, like what I was like, bro, this one dude said we had a really good conversation. I'm not putting this guy down, but he
yeah,
said we were talking about something military, like veterans, and and that kind of topic, and it came up about suicides, like the 22 a day kind of thing, mission 22,
yeah.
something like that. And instead of saying suicide, he goes unalive, and I was like,
Oh
what?
yeah, I've
What?
seen that.
And I said, what is it? He goes, I didn't know what the heck he was talking about. I'm not up on all this stuff because I don't cater to that. I'm just, hey, well, let's talk or whatever. But he
Yeah,
said unalive. I was like, what? Yeah, you can't say suicide. I was like, you can't say the S word or something. Like, yeah, I can. I just said it. Like,
yeah.
I
Freedom of
don't
speech,
mind.
baby.
And he's like, oh, because you have a YouTube channel. I said, bro, I don't listen, man. They can do what they do. I'll do what I do. If it doesn't get posted on there, I post on everywhere else that does
Yeah.
allow it. Okay. In fact, speaking of that, just a couple days ago, Twitter allowed you can do video on Twitter now. So up to 2 hours of
Let's
video
go.
can be posted on video or on Twitter. So I have a Twitter on there. I've been posting on there more because of the freedom of speech thing with Elon Musk taking over.
Praise
And
God.
so I put on 2 days ago, I put up the first full episode of this podcast, and I will be doing that continually on Twitter. So anyway,
So everybody go
I don't.
follow.
Yeah, yeah, definitely go follow. Build that up. That's if there's a Rumble, I use that as well. I've been using that for a couple years now. But I
Yeah.
mean, the point of that is not to bash any other platform, but I'm not
Yeah.
going to. There's certain things that we could be better at as people,
Yeah.
right? In the way we talk to each other and stuff. But as far as like using certain words, if you can't say certain things, like you're self censoring. Like how are you supposed to like the suicide rate for
Yeah.
veterans? If you can't say these certain words, how are you supposed to talk about it and get people to kind of come out of their shell and start
Exactly.
getting, you know what I mean? So I don't. Anyway, the point is, I don't have any restrictions on this podcast, same way that you
Mhm.
don't on your, so I don't get mad if somebody wants to come on here and talk about and promote their other team or promote themselves
Yeah.
or their whatever they're doing. Like I'm not here to promote my podcast. This is for the guest. And
Yeah.
I'm the one benefiting, me personally,
Hmm.
because I'm getting to meet you, who is a great person, a wholesome person. Like having I hear your story.
Yeah.
I want to promote that for everybody. Like I don't, so anyway, I don't have restrictions. If you want to talk about a certain thing, go ahead. If it's, you know, I won't I won't go on tangents like rants about
Yeah.
other people. Um, we
It's just
can
hurting the
mention
community
certain
at that
things like
point.
that. Yeah, I mean, all that nasty stuff, you can, anyone can find that anywhere. That's promoted everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't want to promote it. Um, we can talk about negative stuff. We're not afraid,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
okay. But, just mention it, whatever, but let's not beat a dead horse kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that's about the only rule, that the only thing I really
Which
care
is
about is
awesome.
the audio. Okay. Like I don't
Yeah.
care about the video thing. If you want to, whatever. If you want to wear it for your full kit and show off all the guns, great, man. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
But I want people to feel excited. And like when I invite them on here, like you were talking about, when you start a new team, it's like it's fresh, it's new, it's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, now I've got this new purpose. Okay, I'm tired of the out with the old, in with the new. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a good thing. This is part of
Hmm.
our human nature. Is, hey man, old stuff kind of sucks. Okay, like we want to.
Yeah.
It's boring. Okay, you buy that new car, and the honeymoon period lasts for however long, and then
Yeah.
it gets boring. You have to
See the new shiny one.
constantly, yeah, you get a new shiny one. So same thing with this. It's hey man, I let's just open it up and you know
See where
be
it
excited
goes.
about these people that are coming on here. This is their first time ever being on a podcast, and I love when I hear people say, "Hey man, I was really nervous." Not I don't want them to be nervous, but I know
Yeah.
that means, hey, they're excited about being on
Hmm.
here, so they're like, "Oh, I want to show this off, and I want to show this off," and they'll
Yeah.
ask me up front, "Hey, is it okay if I, yes."
Yeah.
Is it okay? Yes. Whatever you're about to say, yes.
Yeah.
Just don't show your ass on here, okay?
Exactly. Yeah. 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 Don't want to take it down like that. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome, which is great too, because then it's helping build the community. It benefits you, it benefits the community, it benefits
Yeah.
Airsoft. So everybody wins, and it's
Right.
awesome. And there's power in people's like stories. That's even like the Bible says, there's
100%.
power in your testimony. There's Airsoft
Mhm.
testimonies. Like it's a story about your life, and that's why I
Yeah.
love coming on here and hearing everybody's background. Like I'm pretty sure we all basically started off with springers in the backyard,
Yeah.
but then how to go from there to where you are now. Like if you would have told me like 10 years, I've been playing for 15 years now,
Wow. Okay.
six, 16 years now, actually. Started with some like the old plastic Crossmen,
Yeah.
like airsoft guns with the
Uh-huh.
point .12s greens that never go away. They're still in my backyard to
Point
this day.
12s, man. Those are so crazy.
Yes,
They shoot like
yes,
10 feet. Okay.
exactly. And I remember when that used to hurt.
Yeah.
And
Right.
yeah, so if you would have told me like 16 years ago that I'd be playing competitive airsoft, one, I would have laughed at you. I'm like, airsoft's not competitive; it's for fun.
Yeah.
And two, if you would have showed me some of the guns that I've got, I'd be like, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. But
Hmm.
it's the journey that you get taken through, which is super cool. And hearing
Yeah.
everybody's from point A to point B is really cool, and it's exciting. And then it
Yeah.
just brings new life to it as well, because you really recognize like we're all just grown men and women playing with plastic guns, and it's
Yeah.
just part of our life now. I couldn't see myself like the things in my life that are the most important to me are God first, family second, family and friends, and then I'd say airsoft. Like that's what I would like chalk up most of my life to. Like I like
Yeah.
video games and stuff like that. I like watching movies. I like all that stuff, but no, 90% of the time in my free time when I'm thinking about stuff, it's like airsoft this, airsoft that. What are you looking on Instagram? Oh, airsoft, because that's just it.
And coffee.
And coffee,
Coffee's got to be
yes.
up there, okay?
Well, coffee comes first. That's
Yeah,
included
yeah.
with family because
Yeah,
I
you
have
see
to have
those
at least a cup
commercials from
beforehand.
Black Rifle Coffee, or some
Love
of
Black
those
Rifle.
skits are like, but first coffee, you know.
First, coffee. Yeah, I think my grandmother's got a mug and it's got lines on the inside. It says, "Don't talk to me, not yet. Halfway there, maybe. Okay, now." And at the very bottom it says, "Now you may speak."
I love it. I
I'm
love
like,
it.
that's so true. So, because
Uh-huh.
I don't, you don't want to be around me if I take that back. I'm a decent guy in the morning, but I'm a better human being after coffee. God
Well,
made me that
listen,
way.
bro. This
So
is why if you ever meet a Marine that's on, active duty,
yeah,
um, that's why we're so mad all the time. We're just pissed all the time. We're angry all the time because when we're training, okay, we got to do 5:30 in the morning, right? Be out there on the tarmac, whatever,
yeah,
for these multiple mile runs, okay, in boots and utes, utilities, and and we haven't had coffee, and we're still hungover from coming in at 2 in the morning, okay, drinking all night. And so we're just angry. We're just angry. And then we finally get our coffee. And as soon as you get coffee, when you get to work or whatever, then some sergeant's jumping down your ass because, some stupid thing or whatever. But
yeah.
that's really why, man. If we could just have this before, okay, calm down. Like my daughter went in the Air Force and she's like, this is like a regular job. I was like, oh, shut up.
Yeah, that's
It's so different.
hilarious,
Yeah, it's funny, but yeah, man, coffee
man.
first. But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm the same way. I was raised the same way. I was raised, very Christian, Catholic, and and Christian, uh, non-denominational later on. When my kids were growing
yeah,
up, and then so I went. We did the praise and worship, and we had a full one of our churches. We had a full band.
it's
So
awesome, man.
that's how I learned how to play guitar. Actually, I was 12 years old. I learned how to
Let's
play acoustic
go.
guitar with because of the church group.
Yeah. So you
So
just played four chords. That's all you.
no kidding. D, uh,
Yeah,
G, F, C.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
right.
As a worship leader, I make that joke all the time because people are like, "Oh, it's so good." I'm like, musically, no, it's trash. Lyrically, awesome,
Right.
beautiful, amazing. But no, nobody's sitting there listening to worship music because of the music. So, because I myself, as a musician, I lead from either piano or guitar, and when we play in something in like B flat or we play something in some weird key, I'm just like, this is so fun because it's not G,
It's not
D,
the
C, or E
same.
minor.
Yeah.
Uh, so, and my
E
piano
minor,
player yells at me
yes.
all the time. He's like, "Bro, just play, take an old '70s worship song or something." I'm like, "Okay." So we reach old school sometimes because some of those
Okay.
songs are fire. It's
Well, let me
better
tell you,
than
man, those praise and worship sessions, there's something really
powerful.
fantastic. Yeah, really fantastic about them. Yeah, powerful. And you can't really you can't deny that we have this human connection when we're in close proximity to each other. There is
Yeah,
something that goes on, and I've seen these, articles and stuff that I've read over the years where, like the chakra or whatever, in this type of thing, it's like this aura that we put out, this energy that we put out, whatever you want to call it. It's from our heart, and
yeah,
there's like an electrical signal that goes out from each heartbeat, and when you go to a football game, like at a big stadium, and everyone
yeah.
stands up and sings the national anthem before they go
Oh,
crazy,
yeah.
okay, you feel that, and then the jets fly over. It's really, really difficult for people to not get chills,
Emotional.
right? You
Yeah,
get emotional. You go to a concert, you go to praise and worship, like
yeah,
you're in that single. Everyone has this single goal in mind. We're all like-minded, one-minded. It's this,
yeah.
one focus on one, larger thing, and you then you add the music to it,
Yeah.
and then the words hit. It's pretty impressive.
Bro, it's the way we're created, man. Like
Yeah,
there's a reason that the Bible says don't forsake the gathering of the brethren. It's because we were created for community. If
right.
like literally in the beginning it says that God, he made male and female. He created them. Why would he create people that could deny him if he didn't want relationship and he didn't
Yeah.
want that connection, knowing that they would grow and have lots of more people? Like we're made for that stuff, to be together and
Hmm.
enjoy life together. So,
Right.
and that's what you're feeling, that chakra or that energy. What I just call that is that just this just the natural power that God has inside of us. Just
Right.
we're recognizing the way He created us to enjoy that. And that's the same thing in the airsoft community too, because there's been a couple times where I was out and like I'm huge about representing Christ on the airsoft field and trying to calm my tongue whenever I really want to be saying some stuff I shouldn't with some cheaters.
Trying to
I'm
be a good
like, God,
example.
got to
Yeah.
help me. Try to be a good example, build
Hmm.
the community. I mean, that's the only reason I'm still playing at these national tournaments.
Yeah.
They're ran awful. Like if I were to choose, I wouldn't, but I'm doing it for the sake of the community because I know if my team backs out, that's two more teams that aren't coming to these tournaments, which means they're definitely not going to keep running them.
Yeah.
And some people, that's the only speed they have for these teenagers that can't drive to Shot Zone. They can't drive to HCK. They can't
Oh,
drive to
okay.
Rhode Island. They can't drive to Florida.
Right.
Like
Yep.
that's the only place they can play speed. So if we pull out, the owners have literally told us like, hey, if we keep on like losing a lot of teams and the morale's not as good, then we're just going to stop doing them.
Right.
It's a two-way street. It's not just the player's fault. It's a little bit on their side too.
Sure.
Yeah, so while I'm there, I try to represent Christ as much as I can. And the happiest thing that ever happens to me is whenever like I'll talk to somebody. I was talking with this guy named Isaac. Just met him, never met him before in my life, and it turns out that he actually helps at one of the camps or this place called the Ramp, which is a huge, crazy, awesome church camp experience. And he actually does security there. I was like, wait, so you know X, Y, and Z? And I started naming off some people. He goes, bro, I know all of them. So super small world. As soon as they said that, I was like, oh, so you've been to this experience and this experience and this experience. He's like, yeah, I've been there. And then I felt this. And like all those experiences is what connects us. And sort of the same thing
Right.
with airsoft. Because I've told some people, like, yeah, I play airsoft. That's my biggest thing outside of church. Like, wait, you play airsoft? They don't think speedsoft at first. They think like Navrich and Jet Desert Fox and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But as soon as I show them, they're like, I didn't even know this existed, but that's super cool. I play blah 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 blah, and they show me their kit, and it's cool. Brings us together.
Right.
So,
Now,
but
as
that's we need
a
more of it.
Christian, like kind of promoting that or talking about it, especially if you're a pastor,
Yeah,
um, how's that received when I got to imagine like in your area, like
yeah.
Tennessee, you got a lot of people, probably majority are growing up with a religious kind of upbringing, right?
Believe it or not, we're in the Bible Belt, but there's a ton. I'd say maybe like 50% would be the more recent stat. Don't quote me on that, but if I was to take like Matthew's personal stats from what I've seen and experienced, even just in my local community, I'd say
Yeah.
50% of people grow up with no religious relationship, whether that's Catholic, Church of Christ, Pentecostal. It doesn't matter. Like
So the parents
zero.
aren't even teaching them.
No.
So I understand there's been a mass exodus on bigger religions, like the religion
Yeah.
itself. I get
Yeah.
some of that. But so the parents aren't even teaching the spiritual part of,
No.
even if you just like, okay, the higher power, there's this, like how the universe works and that kind of thing. So these kids aren't even like the younger, like teenagers or whatever that you're talking with or
Mm.
meeting, they don't, they
90%
don't,
of the time, it's
yeah,
either they grew up and they went to church for a little bit and their parents. COVID did a huge number, I'll tell you that. So, COVID-19 happened. Everybody started doing church online, which I got for a second, but then now that everything's open, that's not an excuse anymore. Some people still use that excuse. I'm like, you just lying, you lazy, you don't want to get up. And so, but there, we saw a huge exodus there as well, to where it was more convenient for people to just do it digitally online, which that's not gathering together. So I could start preaching. Um,
you miss that, what we were just talking about. You miss that that chemistry that happens between us,
yeah,
you
that
know.
connection. You can't get that
The
through a
connection.
screen. You can get the
No.
goosebumps because you feel it and it sounds good, but it's not the
Yeah.
same as being live. Like
Uh-uh.
those that were there, you know. But no, like the biggest thing that as a youth pastor and as a sort of like I'm not I'm an assistant pastor, but I'm not an assistant pastor. It's a weird. All the other stuff that the pastor doesn't do, I do. So um, that area, my biggest thing that I fight with youth kids is actually getting parents to even allow them to come to church because of all the extracurricular activities.
Mm.
So instead of worshiping God now, we're worshiping softball. Instead of worshiping God now, we're worshiping extracurricular, or certain classes like AP classes. Now they've got a couple things where they've got to do like an internship, and it's all on Wednesdays now. So now I'm fighting with that.
Mm.
And I'd say that probably about 75% of the kids that come into the youth group, at least my youth group, I preach straight from the Bible. I don't sugarcoat it. I don't say everyone's going to go to heaven just because you said a prayer or anything like that, because that's not what my Bible reads. Um, and like we just lay it down on the line. Just I read out the Bible. Hey, this is what I believe this means.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the way it was preached and how it was done in the old days. It's still good enough for them. It's good enough for me. And it's crazy. Like 75% of the kids are like, I didn't even know that was in the Bible. Uh, like sleeping
Oh,
around,
I'm sure.
and doing
Well, one thing
drugs
that
and all sorts of stuff, man. They're just like,
one thing that a
what?
lot of people really don't mention or talk about anymore that is in the Bible, like this idea of, and this is really came out with COVID and
Yeah,
the news media, okay, with they so when Jesus was alive, if you go from the Bible, stories of Jesus, he was not popular
no,
from the government. Okay, the Pharisees were part of the government. Okay,
yep,
they were not like for the people. Majority of them, right? They were part of the system.
yeah. It's for
Jesus
their
was
pockets.
against the system, right? And so if you compared our day now to back then, uh, when all the COVID stuff happened, people that were, uh, you know, aligning with the news media and the mainstream and the government were like the Pharisees of
Yep,
old. Okay, so the people that were on the opposite side of that were like followers of Jesus. Okay,
preach, bro.
back then, right? And that's so I'm going, and the thing that blew my mind was what all going through all that. There still are a ton of Christian, quote unquote, they call themselves Christians, grew up
Yeah,
Christian, they say they're Christian, but they were on that side. I'm going, you don't even realize, bro. You obviously don't know the stories of Jesus and the
yeah,
Pharisees. He wasn't popular like this. He did the right thing, but it didn't go. Like bro. It
yeah.
was
It's
it's
completely
very.
contrary to culture, is what he did.
It really
And
is.
nowadays, if you do anything contrary to culture, you get canceled.
It's
Jesus
weird.
would have gotten canceled, and
Absolutely, he got
we've got to
canceled.
recognize it. He did get. He
He
literally
got
got
the
canceled.
ultimate cancellation, bro.
He did, but you can't cancel
God.
the subscription with Jesus because he coming back, right? It's like
Dude, they
it's
canceled his
crazy.
life. Okay, like so. Yeah,
Yeah,
it is. It's weird to see, and I guess dealing with
never
what
heard it that way
you
before, but
guys
that was
do.
good.
Dealing with a lot of teenagers and stuff. You guys are talking with the younger generation. They're kind of confused. They're
Yeah,
like, okay, especially a young man, right? They're like,
absolutely.
I'm afraid to talk to a female because she's going to get mad. I'm afraid to be chivalrous, like open a
Mhm.
door or be courteous. Okay,
Yeah,
because somebody's gonna like they're so confused on how to be, and I'm going,
yeah,
bro, like it's so simple. It's so simple. Like
really is.
respect yourself, respect other people. Like
Yeah,
it's all these old things that we've known for so long have gotten just garbled with all the
yeah.
media stuff and news things and people's the very small minority of people that get a lot of attention online, but they don't
Hmm.
make up the majority of people.
Nope.
And all the younger generation go, oh, I guess that's how I need to act. And I'm like, no, you don't. You can
It's
still
not.
be
Yeah.
true and honest and right and, honorable and like chivalry. You can have,
Yeah.
there are men and then there are women, okay, based on how you're born with what's in between your legs. That's what
Come on
makes it,
now.
okay? So,
Yep. We're having church now.
bro,
Okay.
come on now.
Okay. It's yeah, and that's you said a second ago. You're like, yeah, a guy doesn't know if he can say this to hit. It's like nowadays you don't even know if she's a she.
No.
It's crazy with this, and I love how you put the. Obviously, there's a higher ordinance or a higher not the president, but there's a higher group, and I'm not going to go theory or conspiracy theory, because again, that's another rabbit hole. But they know what they're doing. They're pushing an agenda, and people are falling for it. They're confusing everything. But that's why I stick so close to the Bible, is because we followed it. Like, we were founded on, in God we trust, and it got us this far. It kept us safe. And what we're seeing is our country's turning away from God, and because of that, we're experiencing the God's hand of protection. It's just sort of come off of the United States, and that's why we're seeing all this crazy stuff happen.
Yeah.
And that's all I can say is, if even if you're not a Christian, just from a merely a moral standpoint, if you look at the things in the Bible and you follow them, you're going to be a better human being than like 90% of everybody in the United
Oh,
States.
for sure. Like,
And
even
it's
if
just worth it.
I went through that, I was, like, when I was raising my kids, me and my wife were raising our kids, I was like, I was going through a kind of a difficult time spiritually, because I was like, I studied the Bible a lot, so
Yeah,
much so that there was so much in it that it didn't line up with what I saw happening in the universe,
yeah,
in life. Okay, that I was like, what the heck? So I didn't, I was not really like, okay, I was doubting the Bible. I was doubting this, and I
yeah.
studied like where the Bible came from and how it came to
Mhm.
be, and all this kind of stuff. And I still have questions. Okay,
Oh
but
yeah, we always will.
oh, for sure.
There's some things
And
we'll just never understand until we get there.
oh yeah, for sure. Like, that's just life. There's
Yeah.
so many things, but yeah, it's but anyway, going back to what you were saying earlier, like the dealing with the younger generation and stuff, getting them. It really is like the airsoft community. Majority of what people I've talked with, no matter what kind of airsoft they play, indoor, speedsoft, pickup games, whatever, open plays or milsims, whatever, whatever level, majority of people are wanting that younger generation. They want to pass the torch on,
Yeah.
to say, hey, when they want to bring them under, keep them under their wing or whatever. Like, hey, this is how we play. You got to call your hits. You got to be honorable on the field, that kind of thing. And I've said it on here before. Like, be honorable on the field and be honorable off the field, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's that's the majority of what's happening in airsoft, which
Hmm.
I think is one of the reasons it's being shadow banned and canceled and all this kind of stuff on these major
Hmm.
media platforms. I think that's why. I don't think it's just because of the gun stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people that realize, and a lot of people in these organizations that have a say in how it's run.
Hmm.
I think they realize that this is a community that's really, really wholesome. That's really
Yeah.
good. The majority
Yeah.
of it, and it's bringing people together, and they don't want that.
No,
They want diversity. They
division is
want
literally
division.
what they want. That's what they're
Yeah.
pushing.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
It's the melting pot. That's stuff's
Yeah.
supposed to come together, not just stay separated.
What's
So
weird is, like, people, when I think about it this way, and like talking to people in there, it's like I could see somebody like getting an airsoft, and almost everyone I've talked with, including myself, this happened with. They get an airsoft and they go, "Oh yeah, that's that." You just think of it on the surface, like, "Oh, it's a game, it's a hobby. Oh, it's toy
yeah.
guns, it's little BBs, it's this," and then they start getting into it, and it's like, "Oh my, this is like this huge organization where we're you make friends, like
Yeah.
real blood friends. Like
Yeah.
I would, I really care about this person, right? I would fight for this person, or I would stick up for this person, or I would, like,
Yeah.
you make these kind of connections, and it's like way deeper. It's so much way deeper, like, than when you first see airsoft. It's so
Exactly.
weird.
It's like
It's
you can
so
go
weird.
deeper and deeper. Some of
Yeah.
my close friends are airsoft friends. Like Macca, he just joined Elite. He was on FRA with me. We joined. I met him through one of my tryout periods for FRA. Best friends now. Like, love the guy. Tell him every time I see him, love you, dude. See you later. And it's just
I
like you
think I had
said.
him on Mecca. Yeah, I think I had him on.
If you did, I have no idea, because I would have probably found it and
I'll have
watched
to
it.
look. Yeah, I'll have to look.
I'll have to go back and look in here just in a
Yeah.
second. Yeah, it's awesome. It's a sport that brings people together, and even if it doesn't matter what type you play, as soon as you say, "Yeah, I play airsoft," all the other airsofters are like, "Oh, that's cool. That's sweet." Doesn't matter what you play.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
but yeah,
Man, it's
and it's
been great
so
talking with you
accessible
too.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
man,
appreciate you being
definitely.
on.
Absolutely. I'll definitely have to hop on again sometime. There's so many stories I meant to say, but I just didn't say them.
I'll get you
So,
on here with a Kimbo and somebody else that
yes,
you've 1v1'd or whatever. Yeah, that'd be cool.
that'll be really cool. Yeah, I'm sure he'd be up for it.
Oh yeah, he's good. Awesome,
Yeah,
man. Well,
man.
thank you, Chris. Tell everybody where they can find all your stuff again.
So I'm gonna be on Instagram, Facebook. My main is gonna be at Seeker or ASG_Seeker. That's my Instagram handle. And for anything X1 related, you can just all my stuff's actually linked under my Airsoft page. So you can just go to ASG_Seeker, and then you'll see all the stuff there. X1competitive.com. You can go look at that. It's got all the stuff on there as well if you want to get involved in that. And then my DMs are always open. Send me a question, ask whatever. But yeah, that's me.
Awesome, man. Well, how'd you come up with Seeker?
One of my favorite Bible verses is Matthew 7:7. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door will be open to you. And that whole seekers or finders thing is just, I
Yeah.
really like it. That plus, as a person who likes to play in a sneaky way, like seeking after your prey.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. So a little bit of Bible, a little bit of other one. So
Gotcha.
yeah,
Okay.
that's me.
Awesome, man.
All
Yeah,
right, man.
awesome, Matthew. I appreciate you, man.
Absolutely.
All right, have a good one.
All right, you too. See ya.